All right, everybody, you are on the best show that has to do with lights and sports anywhere. Because here we are on Lights Out Sports with myself, Mike Valentine. There's my buddy Cheez from, of course, as it says right there on his little moniker, maybe he doesn't have to say it so many times tonight, at Football with Cheez. That's right.
On YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notification.
Of course, we got to get that in there real quick. Couldn't have that in there. Cheez, I will tell you, if you want to repost it on your X, you can. For some reason, it's not doing it since you brought your X back. We'll get to more of that here in a moment, but
we'll figure it out before next week's show.
Yeah, we will. We'll figure it out. But I just wanted to kind of let you know what was going on there. So, all right, buddy. Hey, it's been a couple of days since I've seen you. Not a long time, but a couple of days, right? We did a reaction right after the Super Bowl that everybody was really pleased with. They came onto YouTube. They visited us. They did it on X. A lot of people saw it. And then you did another reaction over on your channel. Tell me what the difference is, buddy. Why people should go over to your channel and watch yours.
Well, I slept on it and thought of a few things that maybe we didn't talk about. And looked at the big picture too. I also looked at it going forward. We talked a lot about Kenneth Walker, so I didn't even really bring him up barely. But we talked about how good a runner he was in the game, and I didn't break down Sam Darnold necessarily. Like I just went over a few nuggets that we didn't talk about, and I went over like Seahawks Patriots, like what it means going forward.
I liked it. I watched it today. I actually put it up on our X platform. At All Gloves Off SM. I watched your defensive video. I did not put it up on our X yet. We'll do that right after the show. So what is this? You're doing offensive and defensive. Exactly what are you doing this week, sir?
Yeah, did you see the offensive as well?
I did not watch it yet. I'm going to wait till I'm going to watch it on my drive into work tonight.
You're going to watch it while you're driving.
Well, good. I'll listen to it while I'm driving, okay?
Have a beer while you're at it.
There you go. Why not?
Yeah, so I did the offensive first. I released that yesterday, and the defensive today. I actually just recorded them back-to-back, but released them 2 different days. But
don't be giving away trade industry secrets here, sir. Come on. What are you doing? Let me ask you this. Did you change clothes?
No. By the way, you'll see this shirt in my video tomorrow that I've pre-recorded, but I'm going to be traveling tomorrow during the day. But there's a video I'm going to record. It's this color shirt because I already recorded it at lunchtime today.
I mean, you could at least change shirts for God's sake.
Look, in the off season, I was doing like 4 or 5 videos Saturday and Sunday, so I was changing shirts, everyone. But I don't care. But no, but I did the offensive, then defensive. At the end of the defensive, I went over how many each team had, and it's really telling. And some teams that have a lot did really well, and some teams that have a lot didn't, and vice versa. So it's really telling. Some teams really overachieved, you can tell.
Yeah, I did listen to that one. I had that at the end of it. I should have probably listened to the other one first. I didn't realize that was going to have it at the end, but that's okay. So for the people out there that always go to your channel, at Football with Cheez over on YouTube, you should watch the offensive one first, then the defensive one. That way it all kind of flows. And, even though he's in the same clothes, I guess it'll be okay.
Yeah, offensive one first, defensive one. They're about 10, 11 minutes long. And at the end, I recap how many each team got. And one team had 2 more players on the lists than any other. And that team, well, may have not made the playoffs. Interesting.
So you're telling me the team with the most people on your list didn't even make the playoffs?
That is correct. And one team in the Super Bowl only got one player,
right? Yeah.
What?
only had one player, right?
One of the Super Bowl teams only had one player. It's really interesting.
All right, so let me set up this show for everybody here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. You may or may not have noticed this is season 2, episode 1. I've always been I don't need to do episodes. We don't need to do any of that kind of stuff. But I want people to understand, too, that this is a long-time commitment from both myself and Cheez. We have done this for a long time. So what we've decided to do is after the Super Bowl, we're going to reset everything, and then we're going to do different seasons that coincide with the end of the Super Bowl. So this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this live right now, you are one of the few season 2, episode 1. But I shouldn't say few. We got quite a few people jumping on here. So got a couple comments that we'll get. And see, I just made somebody mad. Somebody went off and they're like, fine, I'm only a few.
I have a text.
Go ahead.
A friend went to All Gloves Off SM on X.
Oh.
It says, I can't see the podcast on your X account. Can't see it.
All right. So I'll set you up to talk here in a few minutes. And while we do that, I'll navigate over to it and see if there's something wrong.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, so
it's one of my friends, they could just be dumb,
Well, okay. Well, you said it, not me. Well, we'll leave that alone. Okay. I'm sure they have good hair and they never change their clothes. Whatever. So that's fine. So, Cheez, I don't know if you know this or not. We were talking off air, right? And you were saying, hey, the views for the site kind of went down. Everybody's kind of going off of a letdown here for a little bit if they're great big football fans and not big baseball fans. You're the big football guy. I'm more the baseball guy. I'm getting all hyped up for spring training. Pitchers and catchers for some teams actually reported yesterday. Almost all teams will report by tomorrow. So, man, this is going to be great. But I wanted to give you the days until the different events for the NFL, because the NFL is the entity that does the best job by far of keeping themselves in the spotlight throughout the entire offseason.
Yes.
So everybody knows football is by far over just because the Super Bowl's done. You've got, let's see here, we got 12 days until the combine starts. That's it. You got 26 days until free agency starts. You got 46 days until the annual league meetings. The draft, you ready? The draft is only 71 days away.
It's going to feel like 150.
But it's only 71. The schedule release is roughly 90 days away. There's a little bit of a leeway when they can announce it, so we'll say 90 days away. Training camp begins in just over 150 days, and the preseason actually starts 175 days from today. Interesting. It's coming. There won't be that much of a lag. Are you going to watch any of the other football entities that are going to come on right now? Are you going to watch what's the one that The Rock owns? And there's a few other ones that they're kind of sprinkled out there, like spring and summer ball. Are you going to watch any of those other things besides the NFL?
Is that a serious question, Mike?
Yes. No. Okay.
Not at all. I don't watch that crap. Nobody else does too. Look at the ratings.
So if we had punters and kickers, you wouldn't watch that either?
No.
I
don't.
Okay.
I don't. Specialists aren't football players, so
okay. All right. I don't want to get too much into the weeds here, but all right. My head's starting to hurt a little bit. Okay. So we're going to change to 5 Flamin' 5 and 5 because we're in season 2. And here's how we're going to change it. We're not going to change it a ton, right? But just a small amount. I don't ever want to see my buddy Cheez burst into actual flames, so let's not do that. Let's do this.
The rumor was you wouldn't mind it sometimes, but anyway.
Well, it depends on who you talk to. So we are going to do the 5 questions still has 5 minutes. We're still going to do the flames, just it's flames and they're pretty cool, right? Okay. But here's what we're going to do. Cheez, if you get all 5 questions right, a lot of the people who are watching us right now know that you now write the football segment for this show. And I love it. My wife really loves it because it's like 2 hours of time that I don't have to spend on the show. So I appreciate it.
Sure.
But at the same point, I don't get to ask you any football questions. So I want
Yes,
to change that. If
don't.
you can do all 5 questions in the 5 minutes, then I'm going to ask you a football question before everything else gets going. Let me tease what I'm going to ask.
Okay.
All right. I teased it on X a few hours ago. I'm not sure if everybody saw it or not, but we're going to do it right now too. Why I would boycott next year's Super Bowl. So if you can get all 5 of these questions right, they're all, by the way, based on the Super Bowl. If you can get all 5 of these Super Bowl questions right, then we'll talk about why I would boycott next year's Super Bowl.
Okay.
All right.
It's in SoFi Stadium in LA.
Okay. It is in SoFi Stadium in LA. That is correct.
I hope that wasn't one of the questions because I already got it. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, guys. Everything will start when I read you the first question. The first question has to do with the Patriots, and then all the questions after that will be Seattle Seahawks, because they won the game and all.
Dominated.
Correct. And then we'll get to the comments. I see there's several. I haven't even looked at them yet, so we'll get there in just a moment. Okay. Here we go. Patriots quarterback Drake May refused to wear the rainbow cap armband, stating, and I quote, "I would rather retire than wear the LGBTQ armband. No one has the right to force me to betray my faith." Cheez. Is he right?
Is that true?
That's
Are you
true.
Sure?
Yes.
You confirmed that?
Yes.
It just doesn't sound true. Because I think that would have been a bigger story.
Nobody talked about it.
Well, Mike, I'll say this. Sean is laughing her ass up right now because we were talking about this the other day. Not this specific thing, but I'll say this. If he's a Christian and goes into his beliefs, then he has every right to not wear it. Just like that hockey player didn't want to wear like a rainbow colored like hockey jersey. Every right to do that if it's against your religious beliefs. So yeah, I have no problem with it.
Okay. I like how you kept that short and sweet after you questioned me. That was good. So anyway,
wasn't expecting that. See, I get it. It's definitely hot. I'm getting some fire here.
Yeah, it's a hot take. That's why we got the flames up, buddy. Okay. Seattle won every game this season when they scored first. Is that a coincidence, or does it actually mean something, Cheez?
No, it's not a coincidence. It's big. When you score first, you put pressure on the other opponent. You could take them out of your game plan, especially if you get up 2 scores, 10-0, 14-0. It completely, put the other team on, basically make them defensive. So, no, it makes sense, and it tells you how good Clint Kingsbury's game plans are.
Okay. Let's go with this. Seattle Seahawks GM John Schneider is the first GM in NFL history to win multiple Super Bowls with the same organization while having a new coach and no players from the previous Super Bowl on the second Super Bowl team. Does that make him a genius or an idiot?
Maybe a little both in a way. He was the best GM in the NFL for about a 4-year stretch from like 2010 to 13. And then he was awful for about 6 or 7 years. And then he became one of the best, if not the best, drafting GM the last 4 years again. I don't know what happened. The ownership, kudos to them for being patient, but he found it again. He made 2 of the best trades ever. The Russell Wilson trade, what they got out of it, Charles Cross, left tackle, Devon Witherspoon from the Broncos, incredible. So he went from one of the best to one of the worst to the best again. So he was only idiot in the middle, but in the beginning and end, he was great. And He had the best probably 12 months any GM has ever had in NFL history, creating DK Metcalf and Geno Smith, getting picks for them, and getting Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold for free.
Okay. Yeah, he's done a really good job, at least this year, of course. So can't take that away from him. We got 2 questions left here. Let's do this one. I can't wait for your reaction to this. And yes, before you ask me, I verified this one too. Okay. There was only one player at the Super Bowl who was the top paid at his position.
Okay.
The Seattle Seahawks punter made $4.05 million. Wow. Was the Seattle Seahawks punter worth $4.05 million in the Super Bowl?
This is a trap question for me.
I love it.
I mean, 3 punts inside the 7. 3. He was tremendous. He's so good. Seattle's so good. Their kicker's good. Their punter's good. Their coverage is good. Their return game's good. They're good at every aspect of special teams.
Got about 45 seconds, Cheez.
That's the reason they won the Super Bowl. Sure. Why not?
Why not? Because Seattle won the Super Bowl. They get to open on Thursday Night Football at home. They have 9 possible opponents. Tell me which one you would like to see them open the season with. The Patriots, the Rams, the 49ers, the Cardinals, Chiefs, Chargers, Cowboys, Giants, or Bears. I'll give them to you again. Patriots, Rams, 49ers, Cardinals, Chiefs, Chargers, the Cowboys, or the Giants or the Bears.
You know it's going to be Cowboys. It shouldn't be, but you know it's going to be because it's the Cowboys. But I want to see the Rams again. I want to see Seahawks Rams. Those games were all incredible all year. All 3 of them were incredible. So close. So yeah, give me Rams Seahawks again.
All right, look at that. 1 second left. He did it. Yeah. You had me worried. I was like, man, I've set all this up to do this other question, and he's going to fail. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to stop the timer or something.
These were the toughest questions you've asked me. I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing.
Well,
season 2, you're just
yes, it's season level. 2, episode 1, man. We gotta get better.
The stakes are higher, you know. Okay. Let's hope we by season 5 we're not like Stranger Things and just completely fall off the cliff.
That's very true. Very true.
Let's hope.
All right, buddy. So, and this is very true for me. I would boycott next year's Super Bowl if I'm an NFL player or if I'm part of the NFL Players Association, which is the case in most sports. The winning team of the league gets additional money, right? It's shares in baseball. It's just additional money in football. So each player in the Super Bowl this year got $178,000 for the Super Bowl, whether they won or lost. They each got the same amount. California has what they call a jock tax. And they have this tax.
California.
Oh, yes, that's where we're going.
Oh, God, I hope my sister's watching, but go ahead.
They have this tax on what they call duty days. They tax each day at 3.5% of your regular pay. That's how the tax works. I had to do a lot of research on this and look it up, right? So let's give you the example of Sam Darnold for a second. I'll explain the math to you. I see your face, okay? So if I use Sam Darnold as the example with what he makes and the fact that he and his teammates spent 7 days in California prepping for the Super Bowl. So Sam Darnold had to pay, you ready? $249,000 to the state of California just to play in the Super Bowl. This is true. I'm not making this up. So even if you use simple math, even though he got paid an additional $178,000 for the right to play in the Super Bowl, because of the California jock tax, it actually costs Sam Darnold $71,000 to go to Levi Stadium and play in the Super Bowl. Darnold plays for Seattle, so I'm going to add some more here. Darnold plays for Seattle, so he has to play the 49ers and the Rams every year, and possibly another playoff game in California every year. So that number is actually going to be higher than that. So if I were the NFLPA, I would boycott next year's Super Bowl because if you have already said it's being played at SoFi Stadium in California, the NFL agrees to. I wouldn't do that. If I'm a player or part of the NFLPA, I would go to the NFL and say, we're not playing in California unless you agree to pay for all of these taxes that this stupid state puts on my athletes. What do you say about this craziness that right now is the jock tax in California?
What absolute joke. I mean, California is a disaster state. It's they're just trying to get money. This is the reason why Hollywood movies, they're never filmed it. They're filmed in Atlanta. They're filmed in London. All the big blockbusters, they're filmed in Canada. They're not filmed there. And this is why, because all the taxes, they can't afford it. You're trying to make money.
Right.
This is insane. Now I know why the San Francisco Giants can't get any free agents to sign there. I'm shocked. And you're telling me, let me just make sure I got this right. Sam Darnold lost $71,000 because he spent 7 days there.
Yes.
Now, it's not going to hurt him.
It's not really the point.
Man. And he got to ride the teacups with Kenneth Walker, so he's happy.
Yes, I saw that today. In fact, I think I posted it up on our X account.
It was hilarious. But I'll say this. If you want to come to NRG Stadium, NFL, for the Super Bowl, then the players won't have to pay the taxes. We don't tax people in Texas like that. We're good old boys here in Texas. We're good old boys. And I will go to the game, and I'll get a ticket for Mike Valentine as well.
Ooh.
We'll go to the Super Bowl. If it's NRG Stadium, they switch it. They should. But that's ridiculous. I'm shocked. And, the punter making $4 million, he's going to have to pay a bunch of taxes.
Yes. Absolutely. It's crazy.
Or just, how about this? Like, okay, we'll come 2 days before the Super Bowl. We're not coming the week. We're not doing the whole media thing.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, just let's pick a random team that didn't make the Super Bowl that might make it next year. I don't know. Let's just say, I don't know, Cincinnati Bengals. Let's say they make it. Okay.
I thought for sure you were going Green Bay Packers, but go ahead.
Oh God, no, because they have Matt LaFleur. I'm not stupid. So let's just say the Bengals. The Bengals have made it. They've made it recently, like 4 years ago. Let's say the Bengals make it, and the owner says, like, okay, we're going to show up Friday afternoon. You're not going to get the whole media week because I'm not doing that to my players. I'm not going to make them pay those taxes. Owners should do that. And there will never be another Super Bowl in California again if one owner does that until that is fixed. But, Gavin Newsom, he's a real, sack of shit.
All right, then. Okay. All right, let me get through the baseball stuff here. We are not going to do anything college football wise. There was a couple things that we talked off air that we could have talked about. We're trying to keep the show a little short. Cheez is going to do a couple things tomorrow. I've got to go to work here in just a little bit, so they've switched schedules for me. I'm working nights now, so we're going to make sure we keep this nice and short. And Cheez should be proud. I'm going to have homemade chicken and noodles. I can actually smell it right now. It's killing me, by the way. I'm like 4 rooms away from the kitchen, and the door is closed, and I can still smell my wife cooking
I love chicken.
Homemade chicken and noodles is killing me right now. So I tell you what, buddy. Let's go ahead. Let me give you this. The Super Bowl, I saw the numbers. They came out just about an hour and a half or so ago. So the Super Bowl did 124.9 million, and that's the second highest viewership behind last year's Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles. So even though a lot of people said it was awful, I've had to hear it for the past 2 days how awful that Super Bowl was. It still did a lot of stuff. They still got a lot of money out of it. So,
well, it's not going to do as well as last year because the Taylor Swift fans watching the Swifties.
It's true. Glad you brought that up into the podcast. We need at least one Swiftie reference every show.
We'll see. But at least we're not talking about WNBA. But I just brought it up.
Very, very true. Very true. All right, buddy. Let's jump into our MLB 4 Pitch Talk with the best baseball graphic in all of podcasting. Here it comes. Oh, I had to go all the way down. know about me today, man. It's I'm like,
I don't know about you most days.
That's true. That's true. Now you sound like my wife, but I appreciate it.
She sounds smart.
All right, buddy. So in this 4-pitch baseball talk, we're going to talk about the free agent market, how it's just all of a sudden boiling over. We got some different signings that we're going to look at. There was a trade that did go Boston's way and a trade that didn't go Boston's way. And we'll talk about both of those here in the segment as well. Nick Castellanos, what's going to happen to him? And who's going to end up with him before it's all said and done? And then we will round out our MLB 4-pitch talk with ESPN and MLB.TV's partnership and how I was scared this was going to happen, and now I'm going to complain about it. All right, here we go, buddy.
You predicted it. Yep.
I did. I was scared to death that this was going to happen, and then, as you know, my worst fears have come true here. But let's jump into. I tell you what. Before we do that, I want to say this. I don't do this every time. There's a lot of deaths and stuff that happen in sports that I don't talk about. Terrence Gore passed away. You may or may not remember Terrence Gore played for the Kansas City Royals for a number of years. I looked at it. It doesn't say why he passed away. I can't find any information as to what has happened or anything like that. So I'll respect his family's privacy, and we'll keep that part of it private.
I found a little bit, but yeah.
Did you? Okay, so if you want to talk about it, you certainly can. But here's the thing. I know I'm old, but he was born the year I graduated high school. And now all of a sudden, this guy that's supposed to be, a really good athlete and in the prime of his career and everything else is gone. So yeah, Terrence Gore, it's a very sad story. I just wanted to bring it to light a little bit. Do you want to, you said you got a little bit of information. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk about him too. He's one of the most fascinating players. He's one of the most fascinating stats ever. He has, I think, 1 career RBI and 3 World Series rings. He's so fast. He can't hit, but he is one of the fastest people that's ever played baseball. Yeah. He won a World Series with the Royals. He won one with the Braves. The third team, I'm not sure. But teams would sign him late. He'd be in AAA, and they'd call him up to the 40 to be a pinch runner in the postseason. And he got a ring with the Braves. And he was with the Cubs too, my 2 teams. That's when he got his first RBI. He scored the tying run in that Javi Baez hit against the Rockies when the Cubs came back and beat them in that series. So there's a lot of memories with him. But yeah, 1 RBI in his career and 3 World Series rings, pretty incredible. But apparently complications from routine surgery. Sad. Just a routine surgery, and it. Anyone that ever has surgery, I've had surgery multiple times, and make you sign that waiver. Anything could happen, and you're not responsible if something does. And unfortunately, he apparently just didn't wake up. So it's really sad.
Yeah, it's sad. So, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves, right? And make it to where you don't have to have the surgeries. I don't want to negate this here. Got a really good chat message here from @72who. That's a nice name. I kind of like that, actually. So he or she, I don't know if it's a guy or a gal.
It's a he.
It's a he. Okay, so you know who this is. All right, one of your friends. Great. So it's not just
no. He's a lot smarter than my friends.
Wow. You're not going to have any if you keep this up. So it's not just California. Many other states have this too. So New York, New Jersey, and Ohio, for example. California just has higher incremental rates, so their taxes are the highest. Yeah, I didn't realize this. I'll give one of my favorite players a shout out because I watch his podcast a lot, and he was talking about it. That made me research it more. The great Boomer Esiason has a really nice podcast that I watch a lot. He was the one that brought this up. So I started to research it after that and come up with a lot of this. And I was like, really? I kept digging and every time I dug more, I'd go, really? And I'd dig more and go, really? So I had to bring it up.
Was he the only one talking about it though? Because this is a big deal. Like, is no one else talking about it? Was it just Boomer?
I saw it on his podcast. Like I said, I have like besides us and yours, of course, and the ones that are on the All Gloves Off Sports Media channel, which, Red Hot Reds, Sports Era with Sirhan is on here, and of course, Football with Cheez. Those are my regularly scheduled stuff that's on my account, and then I've got a few more. I'm not going to go through and mention everybody's name, but Boomer's podcast is one of them that I like to listen to. And he talked about it on Monday's show. So again, that made me just kind of research and dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not a podcast person, maybe you should be, especially if you're a sports person. You can learn a lot of stuff from some of these podcasts. I really enjoy them a lot. So just for me and my own sanity, I very rarely listen to music anymore. It's almost always podcasts, no matter what I'm doing or where I'm going. So yeah.
Well, it's just, if someone like Boomer Esiason didn't talk about it, this might not have been like news. He's a big name. He's in the media. He's been on CBS he's called Monday Night Games. What if he didn't say anything? Would we have even known about this?
I wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't.
So I'm really glad he brought this up. I have breaking news.
Go ahead.
The Redskin Commanders have extended their punter, Tress Way. A punter has been extended.
Well, that's good, because when he punts the ball, he extends his leg out in order to do so. So that's a great thing that they've done for him. They've helped him extend the leg when he can punt better now.
Well, he's the scam artist, the specialist. They scam NFL teams to give them the money. These are not football players.
Okay, I'm glad you put that at the end, sir. We're going to go to baseball here real quick, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so the free agent market, man, is boiling over all of a sudden. Everybody wants to get all these guys signed, and there's actually a good grip of guys that are still out there, Zach Gallen included. So just in the past week or so, the Yankees have signed Paul Goldschmidt to a 1-year, $4 million contract. Let's talk about that. The Yankees and Paul Goldschmidt back together again. 1 year, $4 million. It's got to be you have to look at it as a good contract. I mean, Goldschmidt gives you a lot, especially in the leadership quality. I think he batted, I know it was over 250 for them last year. So, and you're only giving him $4 million. I mean, that's kind of a win-win for the Yankees, even though I don't particularly like that team.
Yeah, he only hit 10 home runs. I mean, his power, he's just not the hitter he used to be, not even close.
No, he's not.
But I mean, who else are you going to get? Who else are you going to get? You have to have somebody there. He can play defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's a veteran in the clubhouse. So it's not going to probably move the needle, make you so much better, but you have to have someone, there to play first base. And the Yankees haven't, it's been Rizzo and Goldschmidt pretty much, the last 5-6 years. They don't really have this young first baseman coming up. So.
Yeah, so it's like you said, you got to go out and sign a veteran in that spot if you don't have somebody in your farm system. So for those of you who are like, oh, the farm system is not important, the farm system is pretty important, because you can also use that farm system to trade for somebody else that could be there at your first base spot. The Pirates are giving me a reason to despise them by signing the designated hitter Marcell Ozuna, 1 year, $12 million contract. And it's paid in a $10.5 million contract this year. That's guaranteed for him. And then it's a $1.5 million buyout on the second year, that if they go ahead and sign him, it's worth $16 million. He batted 232, 355, 400 for his slash line, 15.9% walk rate, which is pretty good, but a 24.3% K rate, 21 home runs, and I can't believe he got 19 doubles. He must have hit that ball far, or somebody must have messed up on the relay throws or something, because that guy can't run.
There would have been triples for everybody else.
Right? No doubt. What do you think about Marcell Ozuna to the Pirates?
That's a terrible move. He basically lost his job in Atlanta. His bat fell off. He can't play the field. He's a bad dude. He's not going to help your clubhouse. He's a horrible base runner. One of the slowest base runners in the MLB. And you can't tell me you could have had Luis Arias. You could have had Luis Arias. I know they wanted maybe they wanted right-hand power. You could not have given more money than Eugenio Suarez. Maybe he didn't want to go there.
Well, that's what I heard. Suarez wanted to go back to Cincinnati. So And I did hear that Pittsburgh did
has
offer
to
him more
be
money, but he turned it down.
turn it down. This has to be a better option. I am shocked by this. They're desperate for right-handed power. They need a
Yes.
bat, but this is just not a move you should make at all. And for a team that doesn't have a big payroll, giving him even anything close to this is insane. I think this is going to be a disaster.
All right, so we got to go through a timeline here for this one. The Detroit Tigers today. All right, so I saw this about noon my time or so today as I was doing stuff, and I immediately went to go looking at Arizona Diamondback tickets because I know their home opener is versus Detroit. And I have never seen the guy they signed today. He's on my bucket list. I want, this is one of the better pitchers ever in Major League Baseball, and I want to see this guy pitch live. So the Detroit Tigers today signed Justin Verlander to a 1-year, $13 million contract with $11 million of it deferred, and those payments don't start till 2030, by the way. So I was going to ask you where he fits in and everything else, but I got to give you some more information first. They made the Framber Valdez signing official. Let me give you the, he gets a $20 million signing bonus, first of all, that again, just like Verlander's contract, is not paid, doesn't start until 2030. All right, we'll talk about that in a second. So Valdez signed 3-year contract, $17.5 million in the first year. It's really, really backloaded, by the way. $37.5 million the second year, $35 million the third year, and a $5 million option on a $40 million contract at the end. So there's that option at the very end, and he can opt out of that deal in 2027. So let's talk about those two first. So what have the Tigers essentially done by adding Verlander and now it's official, Framber Valdez to their 40-man roster?
Well, they used to be teammates in Houston. Interesting. Let's talk about Framber first. He was the best pitcher available in free agency. I never really heard a lot of rumors for Detroit. I mean, like a down the road possibility. So it's interesting that he kind of came in slightly out of nowhere. I thought that he was probably heading to the Mets or the Orioles. But this is a trend. All these teams, all these players signing these like 3-year but huge annual value. These teams don't want to go 9-10 years. They don't want to go even 7 years with pitchers, 9-10 years with hitters. So they'd rather give you more upfront money and then give you this long-term deal where 2 or 3 years in, your play just drops off a cliff. But Verlander, I know I got to see him once. It was pretty cool. He got the win, but yeah. I live in Houston. The thing with Verlander is he may not pitch in that series. He's probably their 4th or 5th starter, probably their 5th starter. So he might not even pitch in that Diamondback series, just to give you a heads up. I mean, he might.
Well, it should be, but I think he will actually, because they start in LA, and then the second part of it is in Arizona. So I'm thinking he probably will pitch in Arizona.
Okay,
I'm hoping so anyway.
Yeah, you might wait till they like set the rotation. Like, let me know. Yeah, but yeah, Verlander, I he's toward the end of his career. His strikeout rate keeps going down, but I get it, and it's going to excite the fans. The fans have to be. They've had a great February in Detroit. Pretty much it was they were good. They're a playoff team, but are they going to take that step? I think they lost the division late. They kind of collapsed a little bit. You need something to excite the fans, and I think this will getting Verlander back is going to be huge. Like, at least for the fans.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but they're right, Cheez. So I want to throw this out here. They're right. I was wondering why our numbers were dropping all of a sudden. You can't see this on our X account. So it's not on your X. It's not on my X. You can't see it anywhere.
My friend texted me. He said he tried to find on your X. He couldn't.
Yeah.
Which means he said
he's right.
He says, I don't like YouTube, and I had to go to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's not something I'm doing on purpose to try to filter everybody over to our YouTube account or anything. It's telling me up here on the top part of the screen that it's on my personal Facebook, so you can look up Michael Ballantyne on my Facebook. You can see it there right at the moment. We're actually on Twitch now as well. Not a lot of viewers there yet, but we want to do a bunch of different platforms. So if you're a Twitch subscriber and you're trying to find it on somewhere else and you can't, you can go over to Twitch and see it as well. And then the only thing I can tell you right now is that we will, once all this is done, I can't do it at the same time where I'm doing everything else. So I will repost it up on our X account at the end of the live version for you to watch later on. So I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I am not the technical genius. If you got Ricky or Roger in there with us and maybe one of them want to jump on and try to figure out what's going on, then feel free to do so, gentlemen. That's a couple of the other guys that are with us here on All Gloves Off Sports Media. They do the Red Hot Reds podcast, and they are much more technically advanced than I am. So if that's something that either one of you guys want to do, feel free to do so and try to fix everything here. So after they signed both of those guys, I noticed that they also put out a little press release that said, hey, our 40-man roster is full. We're going to have to make some moves. And I thought, okay, are they just kind of announcing that a couple of our players are going to be available? And for any of you other Major League Baseball teams that want someone off our roster, let's talk, if that's what they were doing. And then I saw this. They put right-handed pitcher Jackson Jobe on the 60-day DL. And one of the guys that I thought was going to be in the back end of the bullpen, or excuse me, the back end of the rotation with Verlander, Reese Olson, also a right-handed pitcher. He had right shoulder labrum repair on February the 2nd. Oof. And they announced just a little bit ago that he is going to miss the entire 2026 season. So at first I was like, okay, this is going to be great. Boy, their rotation is stacked. And now all of a sudden it's like, and number one, I got to give them credit. They kept it a secret. That's pretty hard to do in this day and age. So they kept it a secret and then signed these two pitchers. Of course, we knew Framer was probably going to get done, but then they signed Verlander today. So yeah, now their 40-man roster all of a sudden is full again. If you guys don't know, when you report, when pitchers and catchers report, you then have the option to start putting people on the disabled list. So they were able to do that and then sign these two people, and their 40-man roster stayed at 40 because of that. Anything you want to say about Detroit and how all this is kind of fallen together or maybe fallen apart?
Well, it makes more sense now why they signed Verlander.
Right.
But yeah, for those you don't know, once they report pitchers and catchers, you can put people on 60-day disabled list, and they won't count on your 40-man roster. So you can add other free agents. So this is usually a time of year if some free agents is hanging around there. Maybe you had agreement a month ago, but let's gotta wait. This pitcher, he's hurt, but we can't put you on the 60-day AL yet. You know, there's some verbal agreements that might just all of a sudden they're signing now. So yeah, it just makes more sense now that they signed Verlander. So they just gotta hope he has something left.
Yes. So the rotation will be something like, come on, Tarek Skubal's going to be the man. He just won his arbitration and got $32 million. So you're going to have Skubal, probably Casey Mize, Jack Flaherty, Framo Valdez in there. He'll probably be number 2, I would assume. And then you're going to put Verlander in there somewhere. So 3, 4, 5, something like that.
And some guys will get hurt. It's the way it works. You really have to have 8 or even 9 starters now. You can't. Do you remember the year that the Reds, all 5 of their starters made every single start? I'm talking like 15 years ago. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. That was one of those outcomes that's like you have a better chance of winning the lottery than that ever happening, that all 5 starters made every single start. Bronson Arroyo was one of them. Gosh, I can't really think of the others right now.
Well, he was just the rubber arm guy. I mean, shoot you.
But like that's incredible, and it'll never happen again. If you do not have 8 starting pitchers in your system that can start, at least be a back of the rotation starter, you're not making the playoffs. You have to have so much pitching depth. Aaron Harang was probably another one that's just throwing a couple out there, but I still remember that. It was incredible, and I think the Reds were pretty good that year because their starters didn't get hurt.
Right. So you're going to see me kind of mess with my phone a little bit. I'm trying to get a hold of a couple of people to see if we can fix this issue with the X platforms here. So just bear with me as you see me doing stuff in the background.
If you need me to talk for a while, I can. It's no problem.
Oh, I know you. Maybe we'll do that once we get to the football section here. But I love you, buddy. I know you can talk.
Especially if
Okay,
it's about the
so
Braves.
yes, and we'll do the Braves here in a moment. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll kind of
Oh,
keep this
okay.
right here for a second, and we'll do the Oakland A's is next, and then we'll do a Braves piece. So I'll let you talk about the Braves guy. The Oakland A's signed 2 veteran pitchers to their roster in the last couple of days. You got Scott Barlow, who was with the Reds last year, and you got Aaron Savali,
Mm-hmm.
and they signed him to a 1-year, $6 million deal with another $1.5 million in incentives today. So Savali, a 30-year-old right-handed pitcher, 4.24 ERA, 21.8 K rate, a 6.6 walk rate, but a huge 39.4% ground ball rate. What do you think Savala does for the Oakland A's and possibly Barlow as well, Cheese?
Well, Savali, he briefly played for the Cubs late in the year
Yes.
and looked pretty good. I mean, he's the guy that they've kind of brought in. It just seemed like he always got a 1, 2, 3 inning. Uh, like I said, it was a small sample size. It was just the last like month or two, but he's just a veteran. They can go in there and give them some innings. And Scott Barlow is really interesting. I remember him. He was a closer for the Royals. Like he was like ERA in the twos, maybe not great closer, but good closer. And then he just kind of fell off because his control is bad. If
Mm-hmm.
if he comes out there and his control is good, he misses bats, he's going to get strikeouts, he's very effective. But the biggest weakness with him, he has times where he just walks way too many people. But I think it's worth the risk. You're someone like the A's. These signings are good signings. Like these are solid veterans that, um, at least at times, maybe inconsistent, but at times have looked very good. So I like these signings for a team like the A's. They clearly have a great young core of bats. They think they can contend this year, at least contend for a playoff spot, or they
I
would
do
not have
too.
made these moves. Why else sign these veterans unless you think you can? And that it gives them way more depth in their bullpen.
Yes. Like I said, I'm really with them. I think they can contend as well. So again, I know I'm doing stuff in the background. I am listening to you, buddy. I'm just
Well, I'll
trying to
just say this about the A's. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs next year, but
really.
they did. I hate to compare it to this, but kind of reminds me of like 2019, 2020 Braves, where all these young bats, all these guys they drafted high or signed internationally, they got signed long term. And then
Hmm.
2 years later, they won the World Series. And they're okay. Last year sucked, but still, they're a playoff team like for almost every year because they had all those core young hitters: Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris, all of them. John Murphy, Matt Olson signed long term. They got him signed, early, and that's what the A's have done. So, like I said, I think 2027, 2030 could be really good for the organization, and they'll be in Vegas, I think, by 2028, maybe.
Okay. Excellent. So for our Cincinnati Reds fans, by the way, I just got a message as well. It says the spring training opener between the Guardians and the Reds on February 21st will be on MLB TV, MLB.TV. So we'll talk about that uh, debacle here in a few minutes. All right. So the final signing that I wanted to look at here is your Braves.
Okay.
This is the way I wrote it. I'm just going to say it the way I wrote it, and you can comment off of it. So I said, in a mysterious move to me, they signed catcher Jonah Heim to a 1-year MLB contract. We don't know the number yet, or at least I couldn't find it when I was researching earlier. He's a 31-year-old. His slash line was 258, 317, 438, which is respectable. It's 107 weighted runs created plus 18 home runs. And here's some of the big stuff, too. He caught 29.3% of runners trying to steal on him, and the major league average is 20.6. So over 9 percentage points more than the average catcher is what Jonah Heim did. Cheese, this is your team, or one of the teams that you love a lot. Why did the Braves sign another catcher?
Because turns out John Murphy tore his labrum in his hip, and we'll be back sometime in May. Sometime in May could mean early May, could mean Memorial Day weekend. So they don't have another catcher on their 40-man roster besides Sean Murphy and Drake Baldwin. And my initial thought was, okay, Drake Baldwin's just going to DH. They don't want to focus on catching. They just want to be the DH. And turns out, it's because Sean Murphy's hurt. I wonder why they weren't necessarily like listening to offers. He might not have been traded because so many teams. There's like 4 or 5 teams that need catching so bad, and that's why. So they need someone at least until that point. And at this, with the DH, because the primary DH will be Drake Baldwin, they can actually end up keeping all 3. So
it'll be interesting.
It makes a lot of sense, actually, if you think about it. I was a little surprised at first, but I did not realize that Sean Murphy had hip surgery. So.
All right, and I didn't know that either. William, I'm going to use you for a second, buddy. Are you, and you can tell us this, I may not throw it up on the screen. We're having trouble right at the moment because I know you just joined us with our X account. So where are you watching us from? What platform are you on? I'd love to know. I think you're doing it on YouTube because the little YouTube symbol.
Yeah, the YouTube symbol. Yeah. He's on YouTube.
Okay. All right, that's fine, buddy. Thank you for joining us, as well as everyone else that is right at the moment as well. I'm a little flustered because I'm trying to figure all this out and still do the show and everything else. So it's a trying thing for me right at the moment, but that's okay. We'll get through it. So a trade that didn't go Boston's way and a trade that I really think will go Boston's way is what we're going to talk about next. The trade of Rafael Devers. As that they did back in June, netted the Red Sox James Tibbins III, who was then traded to the Dodgers, Jordan Hicks, who was then traded to the White Sox. You can see a pattern here. Kyle Harrison, who was just traded to the Brewers, and Jose Bello, who pitched 55.2 innings in rookie ball and single A. That's what they got for Rafael Devers. And everyone but the single A kid has been traded. Cheez, did that trade work out well for them?
No, it didn't. I'm shocked that they traded Tibbs to the Dodgers. Jordan Hicks was a disaster for them. Kyle Harrison, they have a lot of pitching. So that's why they traded Carlos, and they needed a bat. So they wanted to move a pitcher. But definitely, it's a really good move for the Brewers to get him. Brewers just going to have so much good young pitching. Good Lord. No, it's terrible. And if you did not know, anyone watching, Rafael Devers was a third baseman. They signed Alex Bregman, and he got pissed and demanded a trade. So they traded him, and then Alex Bregman opted out of his contract and signed with the Cubs.
Right. Because it's just been a disaster for him.
Disaster. Absolute disaster. Red Sox could not have handled this worse.
Yeah, the red lights flashing on the green monster and everything. I mean, this has just been terrible for them.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to point that out and take a look at it. I will also say we're going to be doing our lights out list here at the very end of the show, as we always do. Today's lights out list will be the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC. Before we do that list, we'll look at our poll question, and that's what I want to plug right now. The poll question is this. Since we're going to do the NFC quarterbacks, the top 10 in the NFC, now that Sam Darnold has a Super Bowl ring, where does he belong in our list? So for the first time, again, this is season 2, episode 1, guys. So we're doing some different stuff here. This is the first time that you can actually use our poll question and tell us where this quarterback should be on our list. We've never let you guys look at our list ahead of time, or we've never let you guys do anything with the list, but today we are. It's an inside track for all of you to be able to give Cheez and I maybe a little bump, because I'm still a little, the top 3, I'm still kind of wavering on a little bit here. So maybe one of you guys can help us out here. So where does Sam Darnold belong on that list? You have 3 choices: the top 5, the bottom 5, or top 3. Those are your 3 choices. Head on over to our X account at All Gloves Off SM, and you'll be able to do that. So did you just repost it on your X? Is that what I saw?
I just reposted as well. All Gloves Off SM is your X account, and then at Football Cheez, without the with, at Football Cheez, I just reposted it as well, and I just voted.
Oh, look at you voting. All right.
Yes. So you'll find out what I am, when we do the list. I don't need to. It'll be obvious.
No, you don't need to give it away right now. But we will do that. We'll do that. So I think Caleb Durbin is one of the people that they traded for. So they got a lot of stuff. Okay, we'll break it down a little bit. They gave up Kyle Harrison in this deal over to the Brewers, as well as a couple other pitchers. It seems like the Brewers always are looking. They're the National League version of the Tampa Bay Rays. They're always making trades. They're always getting these young kids, and they always seem to come up and do big things for them. But they gave up Caleb Durbin, which I was really surprised at. I think he will perform well for the Red Sox. He might even make them forget about Rafael Devers. Maybe. So he just finished third in the Rookie of the Year voting. Durbin batted .256, .334, .387 with 11 home runs and 25 doubles. He had 18 steals, 9.9% K rate, and also he gives you good defensibility. There we go. Over at third base, 5 defensive runs saved and 2 outs above average at third base. So really good defensive numbers over there as well. Cheez, what do you think about Caleb Durbin going over to the Boston Red Sox in this deal?
Well, I'll say this. I'm taller than him. I'm not a real tall guy, but I'm taller than Caleb Durbin. A little bit of surprise. Like the Brewers every year they make 1 or 2 really surprise trades. They don't have a third baseman out. They don't have anyone that can play third base necessarily that I know of. But the Brewers are always looking toward the future. They look at a trade, maybe not help us this year, but it could help us in the future. That's the way they work. That's why they traded Corbin Burns. So they just traded Freddie Peralta. That's the way they run their team. Their owner, who's worth like $1.9 billion, won't spend, and so that's the way they run their organization. So this deal was all about getting Kyle Harrison, getting a great young pitcher, and they're probably like, we'll figure out third baseman later, but we're going to get a really good young pitcher because we just traded for Freddie Peralta. So as far as the Red Sox go, they lost Bregman. They traded Devers. I just now they have to give up Kyle Harrison to get him. It's not good. And Caleb Durbin finished third in the Rookie of the Year. Let's be honest, he was nowhere near Drake Baldwin or Cade Horton. I mean, it was a huge drop off. So it's not like he's a finalist. He's one of the best rookies. His numbers were okay. They weren't anything great, but I think it's a shrewd move by the Brewers once again. I really think they're going to win this trade long term. But the Red Sox did get a draft pick out of it, so we'll see. That gives them more money to use, in the draft.
Right. I'm sorry. I know you heard yourself echo there for a second. I was trying to pull up our YouTube on a separate feed over here and trying to post it up on my X, but I'm just gonna concentrate on the show and be done. I'm gonna try to stop agitating myself over here about what's going on with our stream.
It's going to be okay, Mike. It's going to be okay.
I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure this is good, so we're going to figure it out.
But clearly, it's Jordan Love's fault. Clearly, Jordan Love should be blamed for it. Everything the Packers do wrong is Jordan Love's fault. So I'm going to blame him for it. The defense gave up all these points, so Jordan Love is just a terrible quarterback.
Right. Now, the question is going to be, where does Jordan Love end up on our list? The lights out list that we'll be doing here in just a little bit, the top 10 NFC quarterbacks. And then next week, we're going to do the top 10 AFC quarterbacks. So,
I have a quick question about that.
Sure.
When you say NFC quarterbacks, do you mean did they have to be starters?
I would assume they would be. I mean, are you
going
to try to put a backup quarterback in here saying he's better than some of the starters in the NFC?
Have you seen the bottom of the list?
All right, Cheez. Moving on. So the Red Sox, I think this was a shrewd part of this deal. The Red Sox were also able to snag Andrew Monasterio. By the way, if you're going to try to look him up, he spells Andrew Andruw. By the way, why I don't know.
Andrew Jones, because Andrew Jones. That's how he spelled it.
Is that how he spells it too?
Yeah. Andrew Jones. His son's a Diamondback prospect.
Yes, I do know that. I've got a ton of his cards. I've started going through my cards. My wife is all shaking her head if she would be listening right now, because our kitchen table has just stacks of cards everywhere for me to get autographs on in spring training here. I'll start this weekend actually, so we'll see it. Yeah, I love this time of year. I'm really excited about it.
I know
So
you do.
yeah, and then all this stuff that's going on is just like anyway. Uh, Andrew Monasterio was in this trade as well. He's going to the Boston Red Sox. And I think this is a really shrewd move for them because he has 3 minor league options left and he can play stop if the often injured Trevor Story goes down again. I love Trevor Story, but the guy can't stay healthy. He hasn't been able to for a long time. And this is a really good insurance policy for Trevor Story. So I think the Andrew Monasterio part of this trade you'll probably see before the end of the year. I mean, I hope not, because I hope that Trevor stays healthy the entire year, but I doubt that's going to happen. What do you think about this part of the trade itself?
Yeah, I forgot about him, but yeah, it's one of those weird trades that uh, you didn't expect. A lot of people moving. It's just like, oh wait, that's good for the Red Sox. Oh no, wait, that's good for the Brewers. Like we won't know for a few years whether it's good, but yeah, Trevor Story has trouble staying healthy, so I think that was a good move to get him, and they got I think the pick in the '60s, late '60s, not between the first and second round, between the second and third round, so they get more bonus money in the draft. It's not necessarily like how often does someone at that pick make it, but they get more bonus. So it's I still think the Brewers probably won it, but I understand why the Red Sox did.
Yeah, and that's how I'm going to wrap this part up because that's 100% right. These draft picks all of a sudden, Cheese, and you have been saying this for a while because you're the NFL draft guy. You've been saying it for a long time that the MLB team should be able to trade their draft picks. And in
Oh
this
yeah,
current collective bargaining agreement, they cannot. But what they can do is they can trade those competitive balance round picks that they get from, losing another player or something like that. So the Red Sox did receive that from Milwaukee. They got their competitive balance round B pick, which, as you just said, is probably around 60-ish or so. So are those? I guess you just kind of answered it a second ago. So they're not like extremely important, but like you said, you could get lucky and hit on somebody like that, and that was just kind of a throw in a trade. So you never know about those things.
well it gives you more options during the draft. You can go over slot with your first round pick, and at that pick, whatever 68, 69, whatever it is, you can go sign a senior and go way under and save money. You could just use it. So it's not necessarily the player you get; it's the draft capital that you get. So. Uh, yeah, it'll help their draft strategy. It gives them more options draft time.
Okay. Let's talk about Nick Castellanos. The Phillies have a problem on their team, and it's Nick Castellanos. He has said a few things at the end of last year. He basically got benched. He called out their manager. Their manager got upset. They've been saying all offseason, in fact, before the season ended last year, hey, we're going to trade Nick Castellanos. Dave Dombrowski even stated today, we are doing everything we can to make a move by Monday. That was his quote. But he's owed $20 million and he's in the final season of his current contract at, again, $20 million. And other teams know that they want to get rid of him. So, Cheese, knowing if they release him and another team signs him, that the Phillies would be on the hook for all of those $20 million, with the exception of the $780K that the then team that signs it would have to pay. It's the league minimum this year, 780. Wow, it must be nice to get 780K as a league minimum. But
yeah.
So what would you offer the Phillies in return for Nick Castellanos now that you know all that stuff if you didn't before?
Okay. There's so much there.
I know.
So Castellanos is always like when he hit, he's great. Like if he can hit, that's the only thing that's good about him is when he hits. he was a Cub briefly. They didn't re-sign him because he's so terrible in the outfield. Like the Cubs he was actually when they made a deadline deal, I don't think they made the playoffs, but he was their best hitter down the stretch. But they didn't re-sign him, and it's just like, well, I think the Reds signed him, and they're like, well,
yes,
his defense and outfield was so horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to hit, and he hasn't. And here's the problem: they want to trade him, but they don't want to pay most of it. They want the team to eat some of that money. That's the issue, I think. Why he
Right.
was, especially why he wasn't moved earlier in the offseason. They want you to eat 10, 12 million or whatever, probably a lot less.
Nobody's
now.
doing that.
No one's doing that. It's like we talked about Marcell Ozuna. I would rather have Nick Castellanos, but you're eating 16, 17 million dollars of the money, Phillies. And I'll give you our 50th best prospect or something, but I'm sure that the Phillies are like, no, you have to eat more. So Castellanos, once he stopped hitting, he has no value whatsoever on your team. Certainly he's not the best clubhouse guy either, clearly. But better than Marcell.
I don't know if that's true. See, this is kind of where I wanted to have this discussion, right? Okay. So I'm kind of a mouthy guy to be, and the people who are knowing me, who are watching this right now are like, duh, right? But I'll speak my mind. And sometimes it has cost me things in the past, right? You upset the wrong person. You don't say what you want to say with decorum, right? You just blurt stuff out. Nick kind of has that reputation. He does that with the media. When he was here in Cincinnati, he wanted to stay here. He wanted the contract, and Cincinnati refused to pay him the kind of money that he wanted. So he slandered the organization on his way out. Well, you burnt that bridge, I'm sure. So now you can't even come back to Cincinnati. And as you were saying, I wonder if he could be a full-time DH somewhere. I mean, he's not going to be in Philly because you got that guy named Kyle Schwarber who they just signed to a massive contract.
Right. One of them has to play the field, and that's a disaster.
Right.
Either one.
So Castellanos is either going to play the field and not play, or something like that, right? So, and he's owed $20 million. If it was me and I was another club, I'd try to get Nick Castellanos for like cheap. Like, here, I'll give you $1 million, and it's going to be more than the 780 that you're going to be paid if you release him. So which one do you want to do, Philly? I think it's going to be interesting to see if everything is going on and how it's all going to go down. So it'll be interesting, I think. So one more piece on the Castellanos, and then William, I'm going to get to your comment because I think it's hilarious. We'll throw it up on the screen here in just a second. So Cheez, again, knowing all this about Castellanos, who do you think is then going to trade for Nick Castellanos? I have a team in mind that I think would be willing to do it. Do you have one?
My pick would have been the Pirates, but it's not happening now. So, no, I don't have one. Don't say Arizona Diamondbacks. You're not going to say that.
No. Although they're kind of desperate for outfield help now that they've traded away Blaze Alexander. You've got Lourdes Gurriel, who's injured. I mean, you've still got some outfielders, but they could use somebody. I don't know if they're going to do this or not, but they could use somebody.
I'll just say this.
Mm-hmm.
They need an injury to happen. They need an injury to happen to some team that needs a right-handed bat. So who you got?
Well, I'm going to say the Florida Marlins because they could use the outfield help as well. And Castellanos is actually from Florida. He lives in Florida. So I could see him agreeing to it. And then the Phillies almost like throwing him in his lap, like, here. You're probably the only team that can really use him, and he's probably going to be happy here. So we'll just cross our fingers with each other and hope this works out. Give us $1 million and your 30th prospect, and we'll be good to go. But
here's the thing: like, the Phillies don't want to eat 19 of the 20 million. They want someone to.
They don't have a choice.
I know they don't. That's the thing is, I think they overplayed their hand early in the offseason.
Correct.
That's the problem. They don't want to pay. They don't want to tell their fans, "Oh yeah, we're paying Nick Castellanos $19 million to not be here," because that was a dumb contract to give to him. Someone who has no defensive value already had Kyle Schwarber. Like you just, yeah.
But Dombrowski already said he's not going to be on the 40-man roster when the season starts. So they either trade him and get something for him.
And when saying that, he just lost all leverage in the trade.
Correct. Correct.
Done.
But we all already knew that anyway. I mean, every team knew that.
I'm sure he called every team.
I'm sure he did.
How much are you eating this Castellanos? And the other guy's like, I wouldn't even give you $1.
Right. And click. Yeah.
Click.
I'm sure it's how it's happened. And it's a shame. I actually have a Nick Castellanos shirt. When he was here, not here because I live in Arizona now, but when he was in Cincinnati, I'll wear it next week and show it to you. His son designed a baseball shirt that has a little figure on it, has like a little baseball guy on it, and people went all kinds of crazy over it. I bought one. I thought the shirt was great. I loved Nick Castellanos when he was here. I don't know if you remember or not. One of the first games when he was with Cincinnati, he slid in the home. The pitcher covered it. He basically took the pitcher out and then stood over top of the pitcher laying on the ground and screamed at him. And the crowd went absolutely bonkers for him. And it's like, okay, here we go, fan favorite.
I'm sure he did. That sounds a lot like Nick Castellanos.
Yes, and that's why I personally like him, but he's not coming to the Reds, all right? He's not, no. So stop.
No, not after they signed Eugenio Suarez.
No, he's not. He's not coming here.
They added the right-handed power bat, yeah.
Correct. So William has an interesting take. He thinks we should talk about a football player in the baseball segment.
Okay. He was a first-round pick, if you don't know, of the Oakland Athletics. At the time it was Oakland. And Oakland, it was such a dumb pick by Billy Beane, who was the GM of the A's at the time, because they let him play football. They're like, okay, we'll draft you, but you'll come play baseball when your Oklahoma career's done. He said, sure, I will. Give me that bonus money. And then he goes and has this unbelievable season for Oklahoma and is the favorite for the first overall pick. And he's like, oh, wait, by the way, I'm not going to play center field for you. I'm going to go play quarterback in the NFL. So it would be funny if Kyler Murray retired from the NFL and went to play baseball for the A's. That would be hilarious. I don't think it happens, but yeah, I'd totally forgotten about that until I saw your comment, William. But yeah, he was a really good high school baseball player.
Yes, he was. Okay, so that's William chiming in, and you can do that too. Just click on the comment section over there and put in your comments. We certainly appreciate everyone who has done that so far and who will do that during the broadcast today. We got one more thing to get to. Oh my gosh. I hope I can get through this without pounding my fists on the desk here. So it's the ESPN MLB.TV. They call it a partnership in the article they released today on MLB.com. That's just saying, oh, everything's great and it's wonderful. And no, it's not. All right, so here's the breakdown as far as I understand it. Cheez, I don't know how much research you did on this today for this segment, but we'll look into it. And I believe I'm saying everything correctly to our fans out there. If you are a current MLB.TV user, you can purchase the yearly plan for $150. I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. I typed that in wrong. If you're a current user, you can do it for $135. So, Cheez, I know you are subscribed to MLB TV, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
yes.
So
I have to watch all the games. Yeah.
Yes, I'm the same way. I mean, my wife becomes a baseball widow here in a few weeks. She will not see me. I will be in my room and watching it on this TV behind me right here, from that sofa over there. And yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Maybe. If you're a current ESPN Unlimited subscriber and you pay that $30 a month for that awful channel, then you can also get MLB TV for $135 a month, but you have to keep up your $30 a month subscription to ESPN Unlimited. And if you have the ESPN subscription for the $30 a month, they tried to throw it in the article I saw today, you can get a month of MLB.TV for free. So ESPN and MLB are forcing our listeners to pay big money to watch MLB games. And I'm pissed, to say the least. Cheez, I'll let you talk about it before I go completely rogue on this subject here. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I'll just say this. If you are on X trying to watch it, all you do is click on the all gloves off icon. It's not on my X right now. We'll get it fixed for next week. I had my X account hacked, and I had to change passwords, two-factor authentication, all that. So we'll have to get that figured out. But you can click on the icon at All Gloves Off SM on X, and you can watch. So we got that at least figured out, but you can't repost it. It's kind of weird. As far as this goes,
thank you,
yeah,
Ricky. We're messing each other on private chats and all kinds of stuff right at the moment. It's
right.
we
But
need a producer. So if any of
yeah,
you have
okay.
producing experience and you would like to get paid, I don't know, nothing, then message me. Then message me and we'll take care of it. Thank you,
I'll throw
Ricky.
in a
I
Spidey
appreciate
bug.
it, buddy. I'm going to try it
Uh,
right now while you
no,
talk about the MLB TV and ESPN thing here.
my buddy just messaged. He was able to click on the icon, and it does work. So
Okay,
okay.
great.
So, yes, ESPN. What they're trying to do, they're trying to buy part of MLB Network. They have agreement. They're going to buy like 10% of NFL Network. They're trying to. They were losing money. What happened was streaming happened, and people weren't buying cable. A lot of people ditched their cable, and so ESPN lost money. They fired so many people. ESPN is owned by Disney, by the way. And Disney's a horribly run company. If you didn't know, I'm not going to get into it. Entertainment side's a disaster, but the way to do it. We're going to make you basically double down on the payment. They know that football's popular. They know baseball. That ticket, the last 2 years, each year, ticket sales and TV viewership in the playoffs are way up, way up. And how can we make as much money and take it from the fans as much as possible? Yeah, that's the way ESPN works. And they think they can get back to where they were, like in the 90s. There's no way. If they didn't have college football, they would be in real trouble. That's where they have almost all the big college football games. So, and they help the whole college football playoff. But yeah, I despise ESPN, and it sucks for the fans because the people that pay for all these baseball teams, all these players, all of it are you and me, middle class. Mm-hmm. Just anyone that's not rich, from poor, middle class, upper middle class, whatever. They're the ones paying for these subscriptions. They're buying jerseys, buying tickets, all of that's who pays for it. And ESPN knows that. And like, how much can we get out of them?
Right. So yeah, it's all interesting to me. They've got the WWE market cornered as well, and they're going to have some games later on in the season. I don't want to promote that 4-letter network too much because I don't care for them at all. But I did want to bring this up. There's one other option, and Cheez, I think a lot of our fans, and I'd love to know if the fans are happy with this option. So if you just want to watch your team, let's say you just wanted to watch either the Cubs or the Braves, you can pay $99 and get no blackouts. You'll have every single game, and it costs you $99 a year. That's not a terrible price. I mean, especially when you think about it as, how much are you going to spend when you go to the game and park beforehand and then get concessions during the game and all that kind of stuff, right? So I get the price point, but I think you and I are two guys. I want to be able to watch every game, especially now that I'm spoiled with the MLB.TV. I want to be able to, if I want to watch the Tigers and I want to see, Tarek Skubal pitch, then I want to be able to click on that and watch it. Even though that's not my team, I still want to be able to watch everything all the time. And then one of the great things that I like doing too is even if I miss the game, they do like a recap of every game within a few hours of it ending. And I like going almost every day. Even if I miss that game, I will watch the recap of, I know this sounds like a crazy man, but I will watch the recap of every game every day. And I just love baseball that much. And I'm upset that they're taking that away from me. And I'd like to find out if our fans are upset, or are you upset, Cheez? Are you going to try to pay the $99, or what are you going to try to do?
No, I want to watch. If the Tigers are playing the Pirates, and Tarek Skubal's going against Paul Skeens, I'm going to watch that game. No, I mean, there's games I'm going to want to watch besides the Cubs and the Braves. And, and yeah, you made a good point. Finally,
yeah, it's only over an hour into the show, sir.
But yeah, I went to a few Astros games last year. I go to a few a year, and with my friend Kevin, and I'm just trying to think how much was between tickets and everything. You'd be lucky. Yeah, between two games, you're going to spend more than $99 just even those two games. So, $99 isn't bad. But yeah, just like you, I get all the games. I can watch whatever game I want. I get the whole MLB.TV package.
and you're a single guy. I mean, think of a family of 4 that has to go to a game, right? One game for a family of 4 is $100. Easy.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Now they can watch on TV. Little Timmy and little Cletus, they can watch it on TV.
You picked Timmy and Cletus, huh? Those are the names you picked.
Sure, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
I mean, I guess you are from Texas, but still.
There you go.
Well, you're not from
Reggie
Texas.
Ray.
You currently live in Texas, yeah.
And my third child, Reggie Ray.
Ray.
And Bubba.
Okay.
Those are the 4 boys.
All right, this is getting worse and worse and worse. All right, so I will have to say, though, I'm intrigued. I saw, I was doing some research today, a lot of baseball stuff I'm looking at now. It's just, I'm super hyper-focused on it. We may have to go to the Texas Rangers game. They are doing a promotion that I've never seen another team do.
I'd love to go to their stadium, yeah.
Yes. They're doing a promotion where they are giving away to the fans. Remember when Nolan Ryan got into the big fight, and then he had the blood coming out of his mouth? Was that Robin Ventura?
Was that Robin Ventura? Which fight was that? He's been in a bunch of fights. It was a Robin Ventura, and he's just bashing his head in?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, and then, after he bashes his head and you got all Robin Ventura's blood on his shirt. You ready for this? The Texas Rangers are doing a giveaway this year of a blood-stained Nolan Ryan t-shirt.
Like, okay, when you say blood-stained, they're not putting blood on it, right? It's just
I'm sure it's not real blood, but it's the...
Nolan Ryan, they extract his blood for the next 6 months, once a month, to put on the shirts.
I love it, though. I can't wait to see a picture of it. I didn't see a picture of it today. I just read about it. So
we're gonna clone Nolan Ryan. We're gonna clone one of the best pitchers of all time. We're gonna do
it.
Yes, we're gonna use that blood off the T-shirt.
Why not? All right. So again, you can go over to our X account at All Gloves Off SM. If you'd rather view it that way. I tried it a second ago, and it does work. If you go over and you hit the little icon where it says live and it has the pink circle around it, if you click on that, you can watch the show live. I don't know why it's not on our feed. I can't answer that question for you. But while you're there, you may as well vote on the poll question that we've got. Now that Sam Darnold has a Super Bowl ring, where does he belong on our list? And what we mean by our list is at the end of this show, we're going to do our lights out list, NFC quarterbacks. Does Sam Darnold belong in the top 5, the bottom 5, or the top 3? We'll go over what you guys think on the poll question, and then we will do our actual lights out list here at the end of the show as soon as we're done with our football segment, which, by the way, is going to start here in just a couple seconds, if you're okay with that, Cheez.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So you know what? Let's just do it. But well, okay. Let me make sure I turn the volume up on the music this time. Yeah, that would really help. So here we go, guys. We're going to do our NFL segment. 4 down territory. This is bad. I can't even think of what it was called. Oh, it's the only part of the segment that I do is title it. Hey. Here we go, guys.
You're doing fine, Mike. You're doing fine.
I just don't like being able to not give our fans exactly what they came to see. So it's bothering me. But yes, Cheez, give us a preview. What are we going to talk about tonight? Lights Out Sports Podcast, 4 down territory, your NFL segment.
So we're going to talk about Max Crosby and the Raiders, that situation. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl odds and the team that's had a dynasty recently and where they fall. And then we're going to talk about the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl and where we think, what might happen to them next year. Will they fall off? Will they contend again? So,
all right, man.
Lights out list.
Lights out list at the end, of course. Man, this is going to be a great football segment. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to calm myself down and then concentrate on football here for a minute, buddy. So, where are we going to start, Cheez?
I want to start with Max Crosby. He reportedly told the Raiders he'll never play for them again. He just signed an extension less than a year ago. It was March of last year. And as if you did not know, Myles Garrett of the Browns, he said the same thing last offseason. And then the Browns threw over 40 million a year at him. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll play for you.
I decided to recant my statement.
Yeah, they made him the highest paid edge rusher at the time. Now it's Micah Parsons. But yeah, so that worked. And I didn't have this in notes, but allegedly, the new coach, Cliff Kingsbury of the Raiders, had coffee with Crosby this morning. So may mean nothing, but could just be he grabbed a cup of coffee, went up and sat and talked to him for a minute. Who knows? So we'll see what happens. But there's complications if he is traded. And Ian Rappaport was the first to report this. He had knee surgery for a torn meniscus, and it's almost unheard of for someone to be traded until they're healthy. Someone because you never know if there's going to be complications.
Right.
Like the best example, David Bakhtiari tore his ACL on New Year's Eve. I think it was 2021 or 2022. He played like one game the rest of his career. It's a straight ACL tear. It never recovered. His knee just never did. So basically, if the Raiders do trade him, it's probably going to be after the draft. And if I'm the Raiders, if I'm the owner or the GM, I want draft capital this year. I don't want to delay the rebuild. They're picking first in the draft. They're a terrible team, but I want to get help around Fernando Mendoza, the probable first overall pick. It would be the biggest shock of the century if he wasn't. I want to get help around him now. And we talked about this when we talked about Micah Parsons' trade. We talked about many times on the podcast. It's near impossible to get value for an elite pass rusher. Pass rush is so important. Just look at the Super Bowl. My question for you, Mike.
Yes.
Assuming they can't get a draft pick this year for him, would you trade 2 first-round picks, your 2027 and 2028 first-round pick, for Max Crosby after he is healthy?
Of course. That's a no-brainer decision right there. I don't like correcting you, but I want to make sure our fans know. You said Cliff Kingsbury had coffee with him. You meant Clint Kubiak, right?
What did I say?
Yeah, you said Cliff Kingsbury, actually. So
I just saw like that Cliff Kingsbury is going to be working with the Rams, and that's why he's yes.
Okay.
No, always correct me because I'm using the one correcting you. Yeah,
that's right. You're just doing a me right now, so it's not. You're just trying to make me feel better about myself. I'm screwing up over here, so you had to do one too.
Clint Kubiak is Coach Raiders. Thank you for correcting.
Yes. Now, I also want to bring this up, Cheez, because I think this is interesting. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will. That's the love-hate relationship that we have amongst ourselves on this show. Right now, you can only trade a draft pick 3 years in advance. And they're when they had the meeting, I gave the I gave you the time squares and timestamps and stuff earlier when they're going to all get together and have their meeting. It's like 100 days or so from now. They're going to discuss being able to trade up to 5 years, right? Draft picks, I'm sorry.
Someone's going to introduce it. We don't know what team. Adam Schefter won't tell us. One team we'll find out at the league meetings, which are sometime before the draft. Someone's going to introduce trading draft picks up to 5 years, possibly the Rams. Who knows? I don't know for sure. That's just a guess.
Mm-hmm.
What the NFL does not want is someone giving up their next 5, 6, 7 first-round picks for a quarterback, like a franchise quarterback. They don't want teams to not have a first-round pick for all those many years. Just here. Okay, I'm trying to think of a good example. There really isn't. But just say the Bills decide, okay, it's just not working with Josh Allen. And if you can trade whatever, maybe someone like, I don't know, Arizona Cardinals say, we'll give you our next 7 first-round picks. Well, the NFL doesn't want that. And that's one of the reasons why you can't trade baseball draft picks, is they don't want the Yankees to just give away all their first, second, third round picks for players. The Yankees would so do that. So that's why they can't do it. I think it would be interesting. It'll lead to more trades probably. And what will happen is teams will say, all right, we don't want to give up a second round pick this year in 2026, say, right? But I'll give you first rounder in 2029 or 2030. Let's go for it this year. We are trying to win. So we'll give you a first round pick in 2030. And a lot of teams are like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Because it's a first round pick at some point. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see who introduced it and if it does pass. But I think NFL just doesn't want a team to just completely destroy all their future draft picks for like one play.
Right, I agree with you. So I just looked it up. The annual league meeting is March 29th through April 1st here in Phoenix, Arizona, by the way. So that'll give you the date and the time and even the location. So
Mike will be there and covering it with the
correct.
podcast. He will be there interviewing, various people.
No one, because no one knows who I am.
Maybe Jerry Jones. Well, no,
sure. All right. So, and the NBA, by the way, the NBA can trade they can trade their picks forever.
7 years, but you can't trade your first round pick in back-to-back years. So it's why you see an NBA draft, you might see they trade their 2026, 2028, 2030 because they can't trade them back-to-back years except on draft day. They can trade that pick. But yeah, so you can trade 7 years in advance, but not the same pick in back-to-back years.
Right. So, and I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't think you would know that because I'm not much of an NBA guy. You're really not much of an NBA guy either. But it's because it's the draft. I get it. You're the draft guru in all the sports. But
no, I'll tell you why I know this. Because I looked into a couple of years ago. I want baseball to have be able to trade the draft picks and why they didn't. And Rob Manfred had said, I don't want someone always just trading all their picks for players. But the NBA saw that as a problem too. That's why you can't only trade every other year. All baseball has to do is do that. You cannot trade the same round the same year. You can trade your first rounder, say in the odd years, your second round of the even years, your third round of the odd years, your fourth round of the even years. That's all you can do. That way you at least have a pick every other round. That's all they have to do. It's problem solved. And like I said, don't go. NBA is 7, but maybe baseball don't go 5 years, more than 5 years in the future, and it's problem solved. It would make the draft more entertaining, especially draft day trades. Can you imagine if say a team gets a couple, competitive balance picks? They have 2, A and a B. They have all this draft capital. Say the Reds got all these, and they love this college pitcher, and they just move up. Reds fans are everyone's gonna be texting their friends. They're gonna turn on the TV. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we just traded up for this unbelievable pitcher from Vandy. He's like the best college pitcher. We moved up."
Yeah. No, I agree.
We gave up 3 picks and we moved up to number 2. It would just make the draft more fun.
And I want to say this, buddy. I'm writing stuff down over here in the corner because I just thought of something, and I know if I don't write it down, I'm getting old, so I'll never remember. So I don't think there's any difference between trading your draft picks and people saying, "Oh, you're trading your future," or paying people with deferred money, because you're doing the same thing. You're going to pay for somebody's contract. The Detroit Tigers just did it with Valdez and with Justin Verlander. In 2030, they're going to start paying those contracts, and they're playing now. I don't think there's any difference. Do you see any difference in the two of those?
No, I don't. And the deferred money, I don't know for sure, but I think it was invented to help out teams that don't spend as much money. So we can push money back in the future. It's had the opposite. The teams that have the most money want to keep their luxury tax down, so they push it in future. So it's deferred money was such a dumb move, and baseball is the only professional sports branch or only professional sport that does that. So it's actually backfired, and it's incredible how much of Ohtani's contract that the Dodgers have deferred. It's absolutely awful just to keep their luxury tax down, but it'll hurt them in the future. Okay, so you said you would trade Max Crosby for 2 first-round picks.
Yes,
I think a lot of teams would, and you have to pay him as well. It's tough, but all these Cowboy fans, a lot of them are excited about the draft. They have 2 first-round picks. They're thinking, okay, we won that trade because Micah Parsons, the Packers didn't, they won and done the playoffs. He got hurt. But the problem is the Cowboys don't have Michael Parsons. And the chances of getting anyone even close to that good in the draft is slim. If you trade 2 picks for Max Crosby, very unlikely the Raiders get a player as good as Max Crosby with those picks. It's possible, but unlikely. Last question about that.
Sure.
Do you think Max Crosby has played his last game as a Raider, or do you think it will be another Myles Garrett situation where they'll just throw more money at him and he'll agree to stay?
That's a good question. Money seems to change pretty much everything. But I mean, what he's already making like $40 million a year, right? I mean, it's what he's making already is just crazy.
3 years, like 106, I think.
Yeah,
well, what's funny about Max Crosby, he's done this kind of before. Like he told the organization, if you don't make Antonio Pierce, who's interim coach, the head coach, then I'll demand a trade. Like he's done it before. Like this, come on, dude. And they did, and he was a disaster. And they ended up firing him and then hiring Pete Carroll, which was even worse disaster. But I think he's. I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think they want to trade him. I don't think Clint Kubiak, not Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think Tom Brady wants to trade him. I don't think Mark Davis wants to trade him. I think John Spytek, the GM, wants to trade him. And knowing the same thing, they're not going to get enough value back. So he's their best defensive player. So I think they'll come to an agreement. I think he stays. And the main reason is if the Raiders are going to want draft capital this year, and they're probably not going to get it because of the injury. So I think he stays. Any more thoughts on Max Crosby before we move on?
I'm just with you. It's going to be hard to get the value they need out of him, especially with the contract that he's got and the injury history. You're going to have to be the Cincinnati Bengals and really be desperate for a defensive stalwart in that.
But they just paid Trey Hendrickson
some kind of deal.
If they want to do that, they just trade. They just would have extended Trey Hendrickson. You know what I mean? I don't see the Bengals doing it. There are other teams that could, but Washington's a possibility. Maybe they really could use some, but they're not giving up their first round pick this year. Maybe future. So we'll see. All right, let's talk Chiefs. So, as you know, the Kansas City Chiefs they finished 6-11. They're not listed as a top 10 Super Bowl favorite, depending on the list. Some of them they are, some they're not. The highest I've seen him is the 9th best chances, or 15-1 odds. And Patrick Mahomes is coming off a torn ACL. We'll see if he's ready to start week 1. I would not bet against that guy. Somehow things just seem to work out for him.
Yeah.
So do you think it's fair that the Chiefs are not a top 10 favorite for next year's Super Bowl?
Is it fair?
Yeah. Do you think it's fair? Do you think the Chiefs should be higher? Do you think they should be a top 10 favorite for the Super Bowl next year? I mean, they had a lot of success the last 5 years leading up to it, and then a disastrous season.
They probably should be, but just towards the bottom of the 10, like 8, 9, or 10.
Okay.
Because we have some talented teams in the NFL right now, that are probably better, but you also have to give Kansas City their flowers as far as that part goes and say, yeah, they've been really good for a really long time, so don't count them out.
Yeah, if Rashee Rice would just stop getting arrested, that would help.
Right?
Because he's their best receiver. Okay, well, do you think their dynasty's over?
I know we talked about this off air, and wow, this is a great question. It really, really is. So I started looking at stuff. You've still got Andy Reid. Probably one of the better. He's a top 5 coach in the NFL.
Sure.
You've still got Patrick Mahomes. As much as I don't care for him as a person, I have to respect the fact that he's a really good football player. But I'm not sure what else you got. And they're old. So
in certain positions they are. They have some pieces, but yeah. Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, they're not getting any younger.
Right. And I think they're trying to hang on a little too long. So I'm not going to say the window is completely closed. I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid had their fingers in the window, so it won't close all the way. But that's all they got left.
I think it's done. I absolutely think it's done. I think they've been passed by the Chargers and Broncos in the division. They were third place this year. I think that's what they're going to finish next year at best. I think the Chargers and Broncos will be better next year than the Chiefs. So at best, unless if the Raiders, just take a big leap, they could be in trouble. I think it's over. And yes, you still have Mahomes. I think they need to do one of those, not a rebuild, but like a retool. It take 2 years. Maybe get rid of some veterans, trade some of them, trade down, get more draft picks, and just do a little retool because Mahomes has a lot of years left. Okay. Some more odds. The Jaguars on this same list, Chiefs were 15-1. They won 6 games last year. Jaguars won 13 games. They are 20-1. What do you think of that?
Well, they just don't have any confidence in the Jaguars at all. Unlike the Chiefs, the Jaguars are moving in the right direction. A really good young coach that I like. He's seeming to get not everything, but he's seeming to get more out of Trevor Lawrence. They got the second receiver there and in Jacksonville now. So offensively, at least they're moving forward, but I think they have to take a few steps on defense. What do you think about their defensive side of the ball?
I think that their defense is a lot better. Yeah, they could use some more help, secondary for sure. I think they don't trust Trevor Lawrence. I think that's what the odds makers are saying. We've had stretches. In 2023, he had a 6 or 7 game stretch. He looked amazing, made the playoffs. And then he got off to a bad start this year. And then another 6 or 7 game stretch to end the year. Looked amazing. Wasn't good in the postseason. So they haven't seen it for a full year. I think that's the main reason. I think it's all to do with Trevor Lawrence, not necessarily a defense. And Liam Cohen got a lot out of the running game too. The running game with Travis Etienne just did not do much the year before, but this year really improved. Okay, one more team. We got to talk about the odds. The Chicago Bears, who were the number 2 seed in the NFC, are 25-1, which is the third best odds in the NFC North. Barely ahead of the Vikings for last as far as odds. They won the division. Do you agree with the odds makers' prediction of basically the 25-1 for the Chicago Bears?
Okay, so let me get Louis here real quick. So Louis, we love you. I know you're a big fan of the show. You're here with us a lot. So we did a Super Bowl instant reaction where we talked a lot about that. You can go to our YouTube channel, All Gloves Off Sports Media, and see that. We're not going to do a whole lot on the Super Bowl here. We did do a 5 Flamin' 5 and 5 in the very beginning that did a lot of Super Bowl questions that you answered kind of in a rapid fire style. And then we talked about why I would boycott next year's Super Bowl. So go back to the beginning of this show, rewatch everything, and you'll get all of that. I'd love to get your comments on everything that we did at the beginning, Louis. Thank you very much for your question, though. Cheez, your question. I'd really love to bury the Chicago Bears right now, but they did come back in a few games. They showed some heart, but I think that they're saying the same thing about Trevor Lawrence here with Caleb Williams, and I have to agree. I don't believe in Caleb Williams yet, and I think that's the reason why the odds are where they are for the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl next season.
They do not think they're going to be nearly as good as the Packers or Lions, who have much better odds. So that tells you a lot. I've been talking about this. I thought the Bears overachieved. They got an easy schedule. Don't think they're that great. So, I think it's BetMGM is the odds I saw. They agree with me. Mm-hmm. And Louis, the first 3 quarters were very boring. The fourth quarter got really fun. All of a sudden, they were scoring like crazy. Yes, it was very boring. Unfortunately, Seattle's like, okay, we're just going to kick field goals because we know they can't move the ball. Except for that one drive where he hit 2 deep balls to Matt Collins. It's like, we're not going to, they can't move the ball. So we're going to take the points, which is what they should have done. If you have a defense that amazing,
they played a smart game. It was just boring.
Yes, it was just boring. You have a great punter. You have a great kicker. And they knew that. They knew it. Specialists, not football players. So, it was a little disappointing. But there were 30 points scored, almost 37 in the fourth quarter. So it did get kind of fun there at the end. Too bad it never got close, even though it was fun. But I still enjoyed it. Just I still go back to that Chiefs Eagles game from like 3 or 4 years ago, 38-35. That game was just back and forth. That game was so much fun. This Antonio Holmes Pittsburgh, beating Arizona. And that was great.
Thanks for that.
All right, Mike, get ready to.
So I want to. Well, okay. So we're talking about points. We're talking about odds. And we're talking about this stuff. I got a tweet from a person who I respect a lot. Asked me a point blank question. So I'll just point blank ask it to you.
Okay.
At the very end, when Walker could have run that touchdown in, and they called the holding penalty on it. You talk about it in your channel when you did the Super Bowl preview. As actually I can't say preview. It was the post Super Bowl video that you did. Yes, the recap. Thank you. Yeah. Do you think they did that on purpose so they could keep the money line down?
If he gets that touchdown, it goes over.
Yes,
because 42 points. It would have been 49. The over under was 45.5.
Yes.
A lot of people online think so. I'll say this: that was a hold, but there was holding on almost every play in that game. They let it go. They let the offensive linemen, because there was so much pass rush, they let them hold as long as it wasn't like a tackle, like you're just grabbing and pulling them down. They let you hold almost the entire game. That play, I saw a few of those they let go earlier in the game. So conspiracy theorist to me thinks, they don't want any more scoring. Great run by Kenneth Walker. Do I think so? More and more, I would have said no years ago, but more and more I'm starting to trend the other way because it didn't matter at all.
Well, it did to Vegas.
But it did to Vegas. And I bet, when you have an over-under, if it's like 51, 52, you're going to get more unders. But when it's 45, even anything under 47, you're going to get way more overs. And I thought it would go over as well because the weather was so good. So, I'm sure Vegas made money on that. But, it's something to ponder. And I had to bring it up because it was all over X.
Yes. All right. So we've done our first two things on the NFL 4-down territory. What's number 3, Cheez?
So typically the Super Bowl winner has more success than the Super Bowl loser the next season. For example, the Eagles won the division, made the playoffs. They won the Super Bowl. The loser, the Chiefs, went from 15 wins to 6, like we mentioned earlier. They only won 6 games. My question for you, could you see this happening to the Patriots? Maybe not winning 6 games, but maybe just taking a step back?
Well, here's the problem, because I'm going to say no, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to say no. I don't know if they'll have the same success next year, but I'm still going to give them double-digit wins, and here's why: the division that they play in. You said earlier, the division that the Chiefs play in looks like all those other teams are getting better, and the division that the Patriots play in still has the Dolphins and the Jets. So, I mean,
so that might be 4-0 right there.
Correct. They're gonna do a crapshoot with the Bills, and even if they win one and lose one with the Bills, and they beat the other teams like they're supposed to, I mean, that's 5 wins right there in itself. So, do I think the Patriots are going to have the same success next year as they did this year with the easy schedule? Because I do believe that's what gave them their record, and not all of it, but it did have an effect on it. So now they're going to have a first place schedule. And if you don't think that matters, look up the Detroit Lions. Last year, 2 years ago, they did really well. This year, they had a first place schedule, didn't even make the playoffs. And if you look at that first place schedule that they had to play, every team they played on the road made the playoffs. That
except for the Bears
was brutal.
Except for every non-division, except for the Bears. It was the only of their 9 road games. The only team that did make the playoffs the year before is the Bears, and the Bears won the division this year. I mean, it was absolutely brutal. Yeah, it's a huge deal. And by the way, Detroit is going to play a last place schedule this year. They tied Minnesota at 9-8, but the tiebreaker. So Detroit will get a much easier schedule this year. Yeah, the Bears were playing the Raiders, when the Packers were playing the Broncos, when the Vikings were playing the Chargers, when the Lions were playing the Chiefs. And guess what? The Bears beat the Raiders, and the rest of the division lost those games on the road to the Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs. It's a huge advantage to play a last place schedule. And New England had the easiest road to the Super Bowl I've ever seen. Would you agree? As far as regular season schedule and playoff, they had a backup quarterback in the AFC title game. They played a Charger team that had no offensive line. Like all 5 starters were probably the worst in the NFL at their position. I mean, it was just a joke. And DJ Stroud had the worst game of his life against Texas. I mean, their road was easy. They shouldn't apologize for it, but it was a really easy road.
You know, you live in Texas. I'm sure you've heard the rumblings. There's talks of trading CJ Stroud because of how his season went this year.
No, it's they blame Bobby Slowick. It was so dumb letting him out of the building. He's now the offensive coordinator of the Dolphins. So dumb to get rid of him the second year when the offensive line collapsed. But it's concerning because he has not gotten better. He's gotten worse. DJ Stroud had, to me, the second best rookie season in NFL history by a quarterback, and he's only gotten worse. So they're not going to trade him. I do not see it happening. They would have to get blown away, but you don't trade someone with, you don't sell low on a quarterback. So
but you could have 2 teams trying to sell low on 2. Like they could trade with they could trade with Arizona, and you could swap Kyler Murray and CJ Stroud and say, okay, change of scenery might work good for both of them, right?
And the Texans will say, give us your next 2 first. Give us your 2027, 2028 first round pick. That's what they'll ask for.
I don't know if they could get that, but
that's what they'll ask for. I'm saying, like, you got a young quarterback that's, and I know he struggled, but like the Texans will want a lot of draft capital. If that's what I'm saying. Like they're going to want a lot for him if someone wants to trade for him, and no one's going to give him that. So he will be back, and it'll be a really big year for him. Okay. What about this? I lost my notes. Here we go.
You're just trying to make me feel better, man. Stop it. You do everything perfect every time. Stop. All right.
I scrolled down to
it. I know the show was terrible in the beginning. We're moving on. We're done. Stop it. All right. Stop it.
I hit scroll down like half the page. I'm looking at my lights out list. I was like, we're not there yet. Like, wait, where is it?
We're close though. We're close to the lights out list.
Yes. Next question. We might disagree on this. We'll see.
Okay.
Which of these 2 teams, the Seahawks or the Patriots, do you think has the best chance to make it to the Super Bowl next year?
Well, I'm going to say the Patriots, again, because of the division they're in. The division that the Seahawks are in is tough. Rams, Niners, maybe not necessarily the Cardinals, but tough. And, they're going to have to pay that tax, the jock tax, because they are in California. Never mind. So just because of the division that they're in, they're both going to play a first place schedule. So that's going to kind of be, a wash. They're both going to have a target on their back because they were in the Super Bowl. So that's going to kind of be a wash. I will say that Seattle probably has the better team, but I think the Patriots have a better chance because of who they're going to play.
They definitely the better team. We just saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. Patriots, they have a lot of flaws, and it was such an easy road. It would be so much harder next year. It's no matter what. It's almost guaranteed to be harder. And like you said, first place schedule. The Seahawks they're not losing a lot. Obviously they're going to lose some, but they can replace in the draft. They have a ton of cap room. I think the Seattle has a much better chance to repeat, even though the NFC I think is a little tougher, just because they just have such an incredible roster. Okay, how about this question? Which of them has the best chance to repeat as their division winner? Seahawks.
And by the way, let's throw this out there. So I know you said this in one of your videos I was watching. Seattle has you know what? I've got it over here too because I wrote it down. I thought it was really interesting. Seattle has $70 million of cap space next year. You just brought that up. But the Patriots have 42.7. So it's not like they're over the cap or they've only got $6 or something like that. So they've got over 40 million.
If they release Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs, they'll have over 60 million. They'll have close to 70 million. So, which I think Stephon Diggs is no brainers. Hunter Henry, we'll see, getting up there in age maybe, but so that they can get to a situation where they can sign anybody. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, sir. My wife is right for a change. I couldn't do 2 things at once. I was researching the cap, and then you asked me a question. Can you re-ask me the question because I didn't hear it, sir?
Sure. So of all these teams, you say the Patriots have the best chance to get back to the Super Bowl. I think the
Okay.
Seahawks have the best chance. But what
All
about
right.
winning the division? Do you think the Patriots have the best chance to win the AFC East, or do you think the Seahawks have a better chance to win the NFC West?
Ooh. Um, this depends on Kenneth Walker. If the Seahawks can
Okay.
re-sign Kenneth Walker, I'll give them the better chance of winning the division. If they don't, I'll give the Patriots a better chance of winning their division.
I think they will. They have the cap room. How can you not? After that performance, he looked amazing.
Yeah,
He just
they should, but
yes, they
there's plenty
should.
of plenty of teams that we said you should do this, and then they don't. So
There are 4 or 5 teams with cap room that would sign him in a heartbeat.
yes.
Uh, I actually think the Patriots have a better chance to win the division because I think the Rams are going to be so good. The Seahawks are playing a first place schedule. The 49ers are going to be good. You know, they just won 12 games. The
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals should be a lot better because it's impossible not to be. Uh, yeah, wait till you see my
We'll
video
see.
tomorrow. Wait till you see my video tomorrow when I talk.
Well,
I
wait,
talk
what video do you have coming out tomorrow?
about real quick. I just think the Patriots. All they have to do is beat the Bills. They're going to be better than Dolphins, like you said, better than the Jets. So all they have to do is be
Mm-hmm.
better than the Bills. So I think the Patriots don't have as good a chance to make it back, but I think they have a better chance to win the division. So tomorrow, I decided to talk about the 2 teams that were my biggest disappointments as far as record.
Okay.
Not necessarily like biggest
Oh yeah,
disappointments.
that's where the Cardinals come into play.
Not
Great.
necessarily, not necessarily the biggest disappointments as like they didn't make the Super Bowl or whatever. Just the disappointments as far as record, like the big difference where I thought they'd be. And one of those teams I talk about first is the Arizona Cardinals. And check that video, you'll see what the other one was. But yeah, I will release that sometime, late afternoon, early evening tomorrow. So yeah, make sure you check out at Football with Cheez on YouTube, Football with and Cheez, and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos.
All right, so we'll be doing our lights out list here in just a couple moments. It'll be really interesting to see where we rank the NFC quarterbacks.
They'll be
And
different. We'll be different.
yes, I'm sure it's going to be different.
Very different.
So I'm going
Okay.
to say this though.
Okay.
I'm going to be interesting to see who's number 1 and number 2 on your list because you told me off air you didn't have a hard time with this.
I didn't have a hard time with number 1. Then it got hard. It's like the middle was really tough, the order.
But I had a hard time with number 1, so it'll be interesting to see where we're going to end up there. So the question that we have over on All Gloves Off SM on our X account is where does Sam Darnold now belong that he has a Super Bowl ring? Does he belong in the top 5, the bottom 5, or the top 3? So those are your choices. Go over there. If you're trying to find us and you're like, I don't understand why we can't find everybody, all you have to do is click on the little link at the top. I'm sorry, not the link, the picture at the top with the pink circle around it that has the word live, and you can do that. Cheez, I'm trying to breathe a little bit now here because even though we're having technical difficulties and people are starting to figure out how to get to it because our numbers are really starting to climb, we're still the second most popular podcast out there on the people that we follow on X, which is almost 8,000 people now. So I'm breathing a little easier now. So
Okay, so when you're doing your lights out list, all you have to do is J dot and then McCarthy for number 1. That's all
yes,
you have to do. And then
and then Kyler Murray is next. Yes.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're almost there to the lights out list. 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
Do you think the Seahawks should have the best odds and be the Super Bowl favorite right now?
Yes, I always think this. You should give the Super Bowl champions their respect and put them up top. Now I understand it's a business and that's probably what Vegas is looking at, but for me it's the respect factor. They just won the Super Bowl and honestly, as we've already talked, did it in compelling fashion. So they should be number 1. Yes.
Yeah. Let's be honest with them. They lost a 4-point game week 1 versus the 49ers at home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was week 1. That was early September. 49ers won 12 games. They lost to Tampa Bay 38-35, where a ball hit off a helmet for an interception late, or if that doesn't happen, maybe Sam Darnold leads them back there. Their third loss, they lost the Rams 21-19. and Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions in that game. That's it. Those are the 3 losses. They beat everybody else. Really incredible. And the only real team they had struggled with in the last couple months was the Rams. And they won 2 very close games against them. As long as they beat the Rams, they were good to go. So, well, what do you think? I mean, do you think the Rams, right now, the Seahawks are the favorites, slightly ahead of the Rams. Do you agree with that? Should the Rams be second?
After the performance we saw from the Patriots, I guess that'd be the only team that maybe Denver. So
with Bo Nix,
yeah. Because you don't know what's going to happen if Bo Nix plays, and obviously, we're talking about next year's odds, and we're just going to assume that Bo Nix will be behind center again. So I would probably I'd be honest, I'd probably put, I guess the Rams are right there, but Denver would be a really close third, and if they were in second place, I wouldn't complain about it. So it's those should be the top 3, whatever order you kind of want to put them in: Seattle, Denver, and LA.
All right, sounds good. I think it's lights out list time. We're going to do the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC, and Mike says they don't have to be starters, just anyone in the NFC. So who knows? I could pick Clayton
put a non-starter in this list, I'm just going to go crazy.
Could pick Clayton Tune, the 3rd-string quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. I could pick him. Oh.
I was wondering if you were going Malik Willis, if you were going to try to do that. That's what I was like. He is not going to try to do this, is he?
Who knows?
All right. So before we start our lights out list, Cheez, I know you plug your stuff all the time, and we love it over at Football with Cheez. Please, everybody, go over and look at all the different videos that Cheez does over there. They're fantastic and informative. I'm also starting to put some more stuff up. So Seeing the Whole Field will be out tomorrow morning, and I'm going to do a Seeing the Whole Field tomorrow morning on the history of spring training. You'd be kind of surprised on where it came from, who did it, and why it was ever done in the first place. So tomorrow, look forward to that. Seeing the Whole Field on our YouTube channel. That will be the history of spring training. This is where you're supposed to say how smart I am and how you're looking forward to it and all this.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be spectacular. Okay. The history of spring training. I cannot wait. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Spring training. Boom.
Okay. All right, football guy.
There we go. There you go. There's my enthusiasm.
All right. So we're going to go 10-1, right?
There you go. That's me supporting you. Mm-hmm. I should hashtag Mike spring training video. We'll get it trending on X.
Sure. We're going to go 10-1, right, sir?
Yeah, we'll go 10-1. It's going to be top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC only. So, no Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, Drake May, just NFC only.
Okay. I think I'm ready, buddy. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
It makes no difference to me. I'm just as ready as you probably
are. I'm going to go first this time.
Okay. I like it.
I thought about that's why I asked you. I thought about going Malik Willis or Mac Jones at 10, just to knock this person off the list. Just because I really didn't want to put this person on the list.
That means our number 10 is the same person, because I know who you don't want to put on your list. But
my number 10 is Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears. Bears fans would think he's top 5. Chris Canty, that moron on that 4-letter thing. He's one of the biggest idiot on TV these days. Has him in the top 5 for NFC. It's crazy. But Caleb Williams, he's had some good fourth quarters. He's got so much ability. He's extremely inconsistent. He has times where he just misses open receivers. Terrible completion percentage. The talent and the scrambling is very good. Talent's there. He has his moments, but he's just, 10 is the highest I could possibly put him.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. For me, number 10, Caleb Williams. This is going to be the same thing that we always do. You're going to do a lot of the eye test. I'm going to do a lot of numbers. I've got all kinds of numbers in front of me here. So Caleb Williams, 39.42 as far as yards go. He was one of the lower guys as far as yards per attempt. That's going to be on this list. 6.9, by the way. His completion percentage, one of the lowest again, 58.1. Most of the other people we're going to put in this list are probably in the 60s. And the other thing that really stood out to me was the number of yards he took this season when being sacked. 165. Caleb Williams is still in that boat where I think he's still in that cocky boat is what I'm going to put him in.
Mm-hmm.
To where he thinks, you know what, I can run around, I can scramble, I can make something out of nothing. And then most of the time that is incorrect. So Caleb, I think there's some room for improvement there. And I think he can improve. But right the moment, we're saying NFC quarterbacks right now. So because of that, Caleb Williams comes in for me at number 10 from Dub Bears.
Yeah, at some point, they had a lot of comeback victories this year. And my dad likes to say regression to the mean. There's going to be a year where they can't come back at all. Like, he can't keep doing he has to be better in the first half. He's been a terrible first half quarterback in his 2 years in his career. So he's got to get better at that. My number 9 is Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to put him higher. See, 5 through 9 could have been in any order. The reason I put Purdy down is he struggles to stay healthy, and he's kind of a system quarterback. I think it's Kyle Shanahan gets the most out of his quarterbacks. That's why he could have been 5th. Originally, I actually had him 5th. I wrote down 5 through 9 and then jumbled the order, and I just moved him down because I think the other guys are just a little more versatile. They don't have Kyle Shanahan and stay. Well, one of these guys isn't as healthy that's ahead of him, but for the most part, stay healthier. So number 9, Brock Purdy. I bet you got. See, I do eye test. I bet you got stats that show Purdy's like way higher. I bet you do.
We'll get to him later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But I will agree with you. He's a system quarterback, and I think because of that, you're going to see some of the numbers that I'm going to point out. But yes, we'll talk about it. So my number 9, and the reason why he's at number 9. I gave him a little bit of a bump because of his performance last year, and I know he's been injured a lot this year, so I tried to take that into consideration with my number 9 pick. I'm not going to give you a bunch of stats because they're not great, but Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders, I have faith in him. I think he will come back, but it was just pretty much a lost year for him. So I gave him a little bit of a pass and put him ahead of Caleb Williams.
More on him soon. I actually had him higher than this. So, yeah, like I said, 5 through 9, they're pretty close with me. My number 8 is Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I would have had him probably 4 or 5 before the season. Really disappointing how he played. And when he got Mike Evans and he had Chris Godwin and Mecca Ibuka all back, you thought he'd just take off. I really thought he'd throw 40 touchdowns. I thought he'd be a sleeper MVP candidate, and it just didn't happen. He was inconsistent. He wasn't as accurate. He's still very good. He still had some really good games, especially early in the season, but just wasn't as strong this year as he had been the year before. So number 8, Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with putting him there as far as that part goes. But I've got him a little higher. We'll talk about him here in a few.
I figured you might. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. And I love him.
I know you do.
I really like him, and I think he brings a little bit more to the team than what he does on the stat sheet. But we'll talk about that in a second. My number 8 guy, Jared Goff, 45-64 in passing yards, really high yards per attempt at 7.9. His completion percentage is at 68. Kind of in the middle of the pack, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He has the most. Well, no, I take the yes of any quarterback in the NFC. He took the most yards per sack. He took 259 sack yards in the season. He's just immobile.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. He did 66 passes of 20-plus yards and 8 of 40. He took 38 sacks and 259 yards, and that brought him down for me. So Jared Goff is my number 8 quarterback in the NFC.
This is the worst offensive line he's had since he's become the Detroit quarterback. The interior, the 2 guards in the center are much better at run blocking than pass blocking. That's why he took a lot of sacks. Like sacks is a stat that can be the quarterback's fault. It can be the offensive line. It can be both. A lot of them are on the offensive line this year. Watch a lot of the Lions, but I get it. More on him later. I have him probably I'm pretty aggressive with him. I thought he had a tremendous year. And I will talk about that in my video tomorrow. Okay, another spoiler. Okay. My number 7 is Jaden Daniels of the Washington. I have listed Redskins here, so I guess that's their name. Yes. God, I wanted to put him higher, but I couldn't. Just because he had the best rookie season. Let's put it this way. Best rookie season ever for a quarterback. And he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL last year, probably 5th or 6th best in the entire league overall, not just the NFC. And he was never healthy this year. When he did play, it wasn't great, but I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. High character guy, tremendous at LSU and Arizona State before that. So I could not put him further down than 7. I originally had him a little higher, but I knocked him down a little, but that's the lowest I could go. Jaden Daniels, number 7.
Okay. So I know that Brock Purdy's hurt a lot. He's my number 7 guy, right? But if you look, the only guy that's ahead of him in this hurt spot, Jackson Dart, Mac Jones is under him, Penix is under him, Burrow is under him as far as yards, Cousins, Mariota, McCarthy, Shedeur Sanders, they're all under him. All of those quarterbacks are. So 2167 as far as yards go, 7.6 per attempt. His completion percentage, again, right there in the center with a lot of other people at 69.4. The big knock on Purdy, 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and that kept him for me down at number 7. I understand what you were talking about earlier about him and about how he can't stay healthy. But I think of the quarterbacks that are in that same realm with him, that are in that they can't stay healthy realm, he was the best one. So he was the only one that I put on this list, and this is where I put him at.
Brock Purdy this year, I'm pulling it up. He had some games where he torched the Bears, right? And just torched them. When he had George Kittle.
You're 100% right too. System quarterback. Absolutely. If he doesn't have Mike Shanahan calling plays and he's not on the 49ers, if he's somewhere else, he's probably not on this list.
5 touchdowns against the Colts, torched them. Then he plays the Bears, 3 touchdowns, torches them. Just tremendous games. But when he played Seattle, we know how good Seattle's defense is. Oh, he was awful in those 2 games. Right at the end of the season, they scored 3 points. They scored 6 points in the playoffs. He didn't throw a single touchdown either game, threw an interception in either one, and he was not good. So that's one of the reasons I moved him down to 9. I forgot to mention that is just when he went against the really good defenses. The Bears and Colts defenses aren't very good, but he went against the really good defense, the world champions. He really struggled. They couldn't do much. All right.
And that's kind of what you're supposed to do as a quarterback, right? Beat the teams you're supposed to. I mean, you're not supposed to struggle against the other teams, but beat the teams you're supposed to and cross your fingers against the good ones.
Yeah, and if he had torched Seattle and still lost, they lost 41-6 in the playoffs. They lost 41-36. Yeah, he would be in top 5 of this list probably. If he can do that, because no one else did that to Seattle. I guess right. Matt Stafford played pretty well. Baker Mayfield had a real good game early in the year against him, but for the most part, no one did that to Seattle. But Seattle, Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love missed a lot of the first half. Once they got them back, their defense was incredible. My number 6 is a Super Bowl MVP. Once again, would have been higher. Didn't have quite as good a year, and that's Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles. He can still run. He's still athletic. He's got the tush push. Just as a passer, just wasn't as good this past year. They got a new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. He was working with he's a quarterback coach of the Packers. I love that move for them. We'll see if it helps him, but I just couldn't put him higher in 6 just based on a really bad season.
Okay. I'm with that, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. My number 6 guy is the guy who I said earlier when you put him a little lower, I said I was going to have him a little higher. 3,693 passing yards, 6.8 per attempt. He threw 26 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. His passing rate was 90.6. And I know I've said it with everybody else too, but I really looked at this stat. He took 234 yards sack-wise as well. he's another one of these guys that just thinks he can dance around. And man, sometimes he just looks brilliant with it, and other times he just looks awful. The other reason why I put him up a little bit, he had 7 plays of 40 yards or more, one of the higher ones in this class here. So
did he throw to Emeka Egbuka? Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of more to Emeka Egbuka. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield, he's tough. Like some games he looks like a top 3 quarterback. Other games he looks like 26.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I couldn't put him in the top 5. I flip-flopped 5 and 6 4 or 5 times on this list. And I basically came to the conclusion that you just said. Because of the way he is not consistent, I couldn't put him in the top 5. So I put Baker Mayfield at 6.
I get it. Okay. My already mentioned him is Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. He had the worst, like I said, the worst offensive line since he became a Detroit Lion, since he was traded from the Rams. Okay. Mm-hmm. And to me, he had his best year. Yes, he has really good receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown. His tight end was even hurt. The interior of the offensive line just didn't protect him very well. I mean, Micah Parsons, they lost both games to the Packers. Micah Parsons is just running after him. It just seems like every play. But he still played tremendous. Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra, he got them the ball. He's really, Jahmyr Gibbs, he just let's see. I got here 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And every year, the problem with Jared Goff was he was very good for the most part. 2 to 4 games, he was just awful. Like in the playoffs against Washington in 2024 season, he was terrible. He got upset. Washington made the NFC title game. He didn't really have a terrible game this year. He was much more consistent. So I had to put him top 5. Jared Goff. Yeah, number 5.
All right. I kind of felt the same way about my number 5 guy here. Not as good a season as last year, even though he was respectable. 3,224 yards, 7.1 per carry. He had a few things that were like bumps in the road, though. His completion percentage was way down, 64.8. He did throw 25 touchdowns, but only 6 interceptions, one of the fewest interceptions thrown of any quarterback on this list. And he surprised me in 2 spots. I've talked about them almost relentlessly so far in this whole thing, but he took 181 yards, sacks, and he made 9 plays of 40 yards or more. I would have never said that Hurts would have done that, but he did. So he found a way to do it. I put Jalen Hurts. I couldn't take him out of the top 5, but he's not as good as he was last year. So I dropped him down to number 5.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had 9 plays over 40 yards in the NFC title game, the Super Bowl of last year, because it seemed like he just torched Washington. He torched Kansas City. He was so good in those 2 games. All right. So my number 4 is a recent Super Bowl champion. Yeah, I'm sure you know who he is. Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, what can we say about Sam Darnold? God, top 3 bust, bounced around the league. Then he was a bridge quarterback in Minnesota. I wonder what would have happened to J.J. McCarthy. He never tore his meniscus. We never would know, but he was tremendous for the Vikings, but didn't play well at the end of the year. Seattle took a chance on him. He was just terrific this year. And in the Super Bowl, okay, he didn't look great, but he had pressure constantly. He was definitely the better quarterback, and he didn't turn the ball over. But great season for Sam Darnold, and he was so good in the NFC title game against the Rams. He really had to be perfect because the Rams showed up, and he was. So, yeah, number 4, Sam Darnold.
All right, well, my number 4 guy really had to be perfect, and he wasn't. And that's why he's not in the top 3. He didn't make the playoffs. He had 2 fantastic receivers, a pretty good tight end, and a 1,000-yard rusher, and still didn't make the playoffs. Hang on, I lost there he is. 4,552 passing yards. That's 3rd in the league behind Jared Goff and a guy I'll talk about here in a few moments. He threw 600 times this season. Only Bo Nix threw more. His completion percentage 67.3. He did throw 30 touchdowns, but he did have 10 picks. There's a lot of different things, 12 40-yard plus plays. He took 31 sacks. That's Dak Prescott, if you haven't figured it out by this point. He's my number 4 guy because, again, 2 things for me. when you've got all that talent and you still can't make the playoffs, I knocked him down a notch. And I took his overall performance and said, wait a minute, you haven't been to the Super Bowl? You're the Dallas Cowboys and you've been there for 10 years? So I knocked him down another notch for that, to be very honest. So Dak Prescott came in at number 4 for me.
Well, not really his fault. It's Jerry's fault, but more on him right now. Number 3, Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys. One thing about him is this year, he has handled pressure maybe as well as anyone, I'll say this, in the NFC. And that was a problem for him in the past, but not anymore. He handles pressure. He has poise. He had a tremendous year. And no chance at MVP. If they make the playoffs, if they're one of the best teams in the NFL, he's up there in the MVP voting with Drake May and Matthew Stafford. That's how good he was this year. I love watching Dak this year. The first half was better than the second half, but he was still terrific. And yeah, I get what you're saying, but he rarely plays with a good defense. Dallas hardly ever has a defense worth a crap. So, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. Because of what who I'm getting ready to put at number 3, you put Sam Darnold where? Number 5, I believe, or 4?
4. I had him number 4.
All right, so let's go over our poll question real fast. Now that Sam Darnold has a Super Bowl ring, where does he belong on the list that we're doing right now? We gave you top 5, bottom 5, or top 3. The lowest percentage was top 3, 12.5%. The next highest percentage at 37.5% was bottom 5, saying Sam Darnold deserves to be in the bottom 5. 37.5% of our viewers and 50% of them said top 5. Both of us agree with the 50%. You've still got about 18 hours or so more to vote on that. You can go over to All Gloves Off SM and do so. We would appreciate it if you would do that. But I have Sam Darnold at number 3. I didn't have a problem putting him at 3. In fact, he was one of the first ones I picked. I couldn't put him at 1 or 2 because of the 2 people I have in front of him. But Sam Darnold, 4,048 passing yards this year, 8.5 yards per attempt, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Not a great ratio, or at least not as good as some other players. This surprised me. 12 plays of 40-plus yards. 12. Only one other person has done that this season. That's the guy I put at number 4, Dak Prescott. So him and Dak are the only 2 quarterbacks to go 12 40-yard-plus pass plays. And then if you look at their 20-yard pass plays, Dak has 53 and Sam Darnold has 57. So he edged him out a little bit in my book, and that's why I put Sam Darnold. It had nothing to do with the story. It had nothing to do with anything else. You know me, it's pure numbers. And his numbers were a little better, so I put him at 3.
Technically, you were in the 12.5% because you put top 3, not top 5.
Oh, you're all right. Yes. Thank you for correcting me yet again.
I wonder how many of those 40-plus plays went to JSN. Probably all of them. Maybe 1 or 2 to Rashid.
Yes.
Well, Rashid Shaheed might have had a few, but most of them are going to JSN. Yeah, our top 2 will be the same. We'll see what order. Yeah, Sam Darnold, tremendous year, and it's such a great story. And search my channel at Football with Cheez. I do a Sam Darnold story, and it's about a 12-minute video, so you can search my channel, find it. Okay, yeah, I got to get the plug in there.
Of course.
My number 2, let's see, I'm not sure his name. JL is his initials. JL. Who's Jordan Love? Jordan Love? Oh, okay. Oh, what is it? Oh, Jordan Love. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jordan Love with Green Bay Packers is my number 2. Bears fans wouldn't even put in their top 10. Jordan Love gets so much hate. He gets all these blame. He's like the Josh Allen of the NFC. Just for some reason, it's always Jordan Love's fault. The Packers blow it in the fourth quarter. It's never the defense. It's never Matt LaFleur's horrific coaching. It's never the special teams blowing it. It's always Jordan Love's fault. Jordan Love had an incredible year. Just 30 years as a starter. He's gotten better each season. Analytics absolutely loves him. his EPA per play. He was 4 touchdowns, no picks in the postseason. Number 2 QBR for the season, number 1 QBR in the postseason. Some of his throws, he's just are down the field are just perfect, like right on their hands. It's like on his back foot. It's like, how do you do this? How can you be that accurate? Is he consistently that accurate? Not always, but he's just a very good quarterback. He's not elite, but he's a very good quarterback, and I wish more people recognize it.
All right. I'm not going to disagree with you whatsoever. I'm going to give you a few more stats, not a lot, but I'll do a few more for you here. My number 2 guy is your number 2 guy, Jordan Love. And I had a really hard time with 1 and 2 between him and the guy who's going to make number 1.
You almost put Jordan number 1 then. Okay.
I did. I thought about it for a little bit. I really did. So let me give you this. Jacoby Brissett, 43 sacks. Josh Allen took 40. Justin Herbert took 54 sacks. Drake May took 47 sacks. And the part that I really think Jordan Love has improved on this season with his game is knowing when to get rid of the ball, knowing when to just throw the ball away and live another down. He only took 21 sacks this season. So
in 17 games.
Yes, maybe a minuscule type stat that nobody else really sees. But I think it's really important, and that's the reason. It was the reason why I thought about putting him at number 1.
And this is the worst pass-blocking offensive line he's played with in 3 years. It is.
All right,
they had more injuries on the offensive line. Yeah, it's the worst one. But he's so good at throwing off his back foot and throwing on time and waiting till the last second to throw it. And yeah, he's really improved in that area. And I guess if you can I was just thinking about this, like to make a case for him number 1, the guy we have number 1 has a much better offensive line, and his top 2 receivers are better than any receivers that the Packers have. So, of course, he's the MVP of the league, and his numbers just jump off the charts. But Matthew Stafford's Matthew Stafford's my number 1. Like I said, MVP. He does have Puka Nacua. He does have Devontae Adams. He has a very good offensive line, but still, the production's there. I don't know if any quarterback in the NFL throws the ball on time better than him. Like it's on time before the receiver makes the cut, makes the break. And Stafford just looks so comfortable in this offense this year. I've never seen him look just comfortable game in and game out. And MVP, so close to the Super Bowl. They very likely would have beaten the Patriots. So yeah, number 1 NFC quarterback to me. Oh, I need to calm down. Is Matt Stafford. My number 10, Caleb Williams, Bears. Number 9, Brock Purdy, 49ers. Number 8, Baker Mayfield, Buccaneers. 7, Jaden Daniels, Redskins. Yes. Number 6, Jalen Hurts, Eagles. 5, Jared Goff, Lions. 4, Sam Darnold, Seahawks. 3, Dak Prescott, Cowboys. 2, Jordan Love, Packers. And number 1, like I just said, Matthew Stafford, Rams.
All right. So I don't think either one of us had a quarterback in there that the other one didn't have. We just had them in different orders. So for me, it was Williams, Daniels, Goff, Purdy, Mayfield, Hurts, Prescott, Darnold, Love, and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford reminds me, let me give you the good things, and then I'll end with the bad, okay? Now, there is some bad here. 20-plus plays. 20-plus yard plays, he had 72, the most of anyone in the league. 40-yard plays, 8. He threw the 72 plays of more than 20 yards. His longest one was 88 yards. He had the longest play from scrimmage of any quarterback this season. He only took 23 sacks. We talked earlier, Jordan Love took 21. He only took 23, and he is maybe the least mobile guy in the world, and he still only took 23 sacks.
Throws the ball on time. Yep.
Yes. Dak Prescott and Bo Nix, 612 attempts for Nix, 600 for Dak Prescott. Matthew Stafford's right there, 597. So Matthew Stafford is like the Allen Iverson of football. If you keep throwing
talking about practice.
Talk about practice. If you keep throwing it, people are going to catch it. Of all the quarterbacks on these lists, because we all had the same 10 people, Matthew Stafford had the lowest completion percentage of any of them.
Yes, but
I thought about not putting him at number 1 for a little bit.
He throws the ball away a lot, though, because he doesn't like to take sacks. And he does throw down the field more than some guys. He doesn't dink and dunk it. You know, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, like I said, the medium range. You said all these 20-yard plays. He loves that 10 to 20-yard window. And, so I get the completion
20
percentage.
plus yard window.
Yeah. It could be higher, but it's a down the field, maybe not like a deep play, but it's more of a down the field offense. But he just had a tremendous year, and I'm a little surprised the MVP race was that close. Maybe because the Patriots improved so much, but I would have voted for Stafford for MVP.
I mean, there are only. I'm looking. I thought I saw a third one. Maybe not. There's only. Oh yeah. Okay. So Goff had 66 plays of 20 plus yards. Drake May actually had 67 plays of 20 plus yards, and then Matthew Stafford 72, and everybody else is in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So it's a huge drop off from those 3 guys. But the number that absolutely stands out, and you just honestly can't ignore, and the reason why I was like, okay, he's got to be number 1. 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah, that's peak Aaron Rodgers prime numbers. That's incredible. Like I said, he does have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. He has 2 number 1s. That does help, but still, doesn't matter who you have. That's incredible.
Right. All right, buddy. So there's our top 10. There's our lights out list. Next week, we're going to do the AFC quarterbacks. So for those of you who are still with us and you want to chime in and say, hey, this guy needs to be there, this guy needs to be there, you can go over to All Gloves Off SM on our X account, and you can certainly do that. We will listen. I don't know if we'll react or not, but we'll listen. And then
I'll react.
Yeah.
I'll react. And I just got to hold on. I'm working on my list. Jake, Browning, Joe, Black. Sorry, go ahead. I'm looking at my list.
No, you're
no. Okay.
Yeah. Always got to get one more smart aleck comment in before we leave. I tell you what,
Achilles.
You're lucky I like that color shirt, sir. It's Charger blue. I'm not even a Charger fan. In fact, I'm going to go. No, I don't like that. I don't like that guy who's coaching that screwed up the Michigan program. And okay, anyway. I probably shouldn't go there too much, but yeah.
Well, he screwed up I mean, since he left, it's been an absolute disaster for Michigan. That's true. Good thing they won the national title.
So
if they didn't win the national title, his legacy, they'd hate him because they left him just a disaster. So Jim Harbaugh, but okay. How do you spell Achilles and Achilles Smith?
Achilles, I don't know. I can't remember. I can barely smell Smith, sir. So
okay.
Plugging a couple of things again. Seeing the whole field. We're going to do the history of spring training. It will come out tomorrow. There may have to be a second part of it, depending on how I'm doing it. I will do it live. I don't like to record all of it. I like to do everything live. So I like that pressure. If you saw it earlier, there was some pressure on me, and I don't know if I responded real well to it, but I like the pressure of being live all the time. So. That's kind of where I'm at and what I like to do. I know Cheez is going to release a video tomorrow too. What's yours going to be about, buddy?
It's the 2 teams that disappointed me the most as far as like their win-loss record. Obviously Arizona Cardinals are one of them. So make sure you check it out. It's about a 9-minute video. Just quickly go over, talk a little bit more about the Cardinals because there's just a lot more to talk about than the other team. At Football with Cheez, make sure you check it out. Subscribe. I just released the best players at every position on offense, best players at every position on defense. Next week, probably I'm going to try to get to it at the end of the week, but I'm traveling a little bit, so probably not. It's going to be the most underrated player at every position in the NFL. I'm most of the way done with the research. I've done all the offense and most of the defense. So so look out for that on my channel. All
right. Safe travels to you and anybody else that's going to be traveling. We appreciate you doing that. You can always, of course, go to also Spotify and Apple Music. You can find all of our stuff on there as well from All Gloves Off Sports Media. And anything you want to add to the end of the show before we get out of here, buddy?
I can't think of a single thing, Mike. I'm just, I'm ready to get the road tomorrow morning.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
I wasn't expecting that question, so I got nothing for you.
Well, you
Just,
know.
I forgot to mention this. I meant to mention Justin Jefferson threw his quarterback under the bus today. You sent me that. It's crazy. In an interview, he basically said, I wasn't the best receiver this year. I'm the best because my quarterback. I don't have a good quarterback. Oh man, he threw 9 under the bus.
Point blank asked by a reporter, "Are you the best receiver in the NFL?" And he said, "Well, of course I am." But he said, just because the stats don't reflect it doesn't mean I'm not. I mean, basically, like, look who I've got throwing me the ball. And wow.
It was, oh man, he threw him under the bus.
It's on our X page.
9. Just call him 9. He's not JJ. It's just 9.
Yes. Yeah. At All Gloves Off SM. It's over there. You can see it.
The Vikings.
Yeah. They're a mess of an organization right now too. So
they're never going to win a Super Bowl. They just aren't. Doesn't matter how good. They've had some really good teams. They still can't win it. They just can't. It's the Vikings.
Right. All right. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being with us. Thank you very much. You'll see a lot more stuff on our YouTube here this week. We'll get some stuff out for you. So go over there and see it. You can go to Football with Cheez at YouTube and also All Gloves Off Sports Media at YouTube. And Cheez, when they get there, what all do they need to do?
So what you do is hit the subscribe button, and you also hit the bell for notifications so you never miss one of our videos.
All right, that is correct. Everything that you need to do is right there. So, as we always say at the end of these, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base line. Spring training is almost here. Here we go.